Yeah, you know with KD the laughing stock, niggas got that voice. In this crazy world, we gotta make a choice. They say Elijah swishy, but we're making noise from the top of the charts. Here the people rejoice. Stop being book munchers, just get swishy with us. Join the laughter wave, make a fuss. Stop being book munchers, just get swishy with us. Join the laughter wave, make a fuss.
Boom!
Hello!
And we are here. How are you doing?
Are we definitely being picked up on the audio?
Probably.
I just want to be absolutely sure.
We're being picked up, look.
There we go.
You're
We're
a
all
bit
good.
louder than me. I need to go up a tad.
A touch.
Well,
just a touchy touch.
There we go. That's kind of
Just a tiny touch.
Tiny.
You know, one of the ones they do in a small church rather than the big Catholic ones.
Oh, the quick start.
You can tell I'm in a better mood. I'm doing all right.
While I grab my,
this is Squishy Logic. This is the podcast where we talk about all kinds of manners of topics using our squishy but logical brains.
Squishy penile.
Yes, of course. That is the other brain, as we all know. To my right here is Mr. Kd Hinken.
What is up? Your comedic babyface and everybody's favourite laughing stock.
That's apparently so. And then there's me, Nathan. I'm the guy with the voice. I've got so many voices, and not all of them are just in my head. Although that one is. Shut up, Eric. Anyway.
Oh, I like Eric.
Eric's
cool.
all right, but he's being a right twat today.
If you're going to have a voice in your head, what voice would you go for? What would be the name of the voice?
Pingu.
Pingu?
I would just have Pingu.
I just
have Pingu, yeah.
Oh, so it's not even the same word?
Yeah, no.
Okay, in that case, I'll go
Nope. I'll be like, fuck yeah.
That's a good shape because then you can ignore it when you want to.
That's right.
Mr. Bean. Maybe I'll go Mr. Bean.
That's pretty good.
Because he does talk sometimes.
Yeah, but he'd have to be more of a visual one. You know,
yeah, I am a visual.
You'd just be sort of sat there doing your homework or something. When if you're a kid, you know, you're doing your homework and you're like, I think I'm gonna go and just play some games. I'm fucking done with this. And then there's Mr. Bean in the corner, like,
oh man, that
that
is legitimate.
In the fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, there's just a grown Rowan Atkinson in the corner of your room.
Oh, imagine it. No, when you're older. And you're having sexy time.
Oh,
he's like your fairy godmother whenever the serious stuff happens. He appears. Oh god! Like the serious, he's like a ghost kind of thing.
Yeah,
kind of think like not a fairy godmother, was it a guardian angel?
Another one that would suck would be Rick Mail from Bottom.
Yeah, I don't really know him too well.
He's the one who goes, "Oh, Eddie."
I don't know who you mean.
Yeah.
The one who isn't bald.
Yeah, he's just like, "Are you guys gonna do it? Can I watch?" And then he'd never stop watching and be like, "Oh, it's going in."
I would be okay with somebody watching, but as soon as they got too into it, then I wouldn't be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, if I can't hear them, like a video recording, like, you know, if I was like the porn star, I'd need
like a theatre.
No,
like a serious Shakespearean theatre.
No,
you know, where it's just you in the middle of a stage and there's like 500 people in the fucking theatre just watching,
like around
dead silence. You're fine with that?
Yeah. Like how I'd rather in comedy. Like I just want dead silence.
That's it. That's it.
Like, stop laughing. I'm trying to talk.
Oh damn it! I'm making a point here, motherfucker.
It is a lot annoying sometimes, that is though.
Mm-hmm. I have had people laugh at points where it's like, "What was funny about that? What the fuck did I say then? That was
and then
funny."
You work it into your set.
Yeah.
That's how I originally started with my tiny tongue, just talking at the beginning.
Yeah.
I always knew that we'd get a laugh, but it's like legitimately wasn't a joke at that point.
Yeah, and you weren't expecting it to be that funny.
yeah. So I know you know where I'm going with this, but when the women are like talking to each other, laughing and looking at you, it's like, you know exactly where I'm going with this. I don't like it already.
Yeah.
Tiny tongues lead to tiny
consequences.
There you go. I was going to say tiny licks, but
that's true.
Take your lickings.
Yeah.
Because you won't get many.
So let's dive into it because I want to fucking talk about this shit.
Oh yeah. Before we get into the episode by episode, we are going to cover today. It is an excuse. I don't know why I debated doing it because it's an excuse for me to actually talk about wrestling, but it's in the mainstream for once.
And I fucking loved that. I've still got half an hour of it to watch on the final episode.
Right.
But I fucking loved it. Yeah. It's such a great documentary. I watched the first episode. I was like, oh, am I going to force myself through this to watch it? No, I just genuinely enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I did watch the first one as well because I haven't actually seen any of this shit. You know, I don't know any of the.
That's been the debate in the wrestling community whether the average person watching it would watch through the first episode, which is kind of a fluff piece almost.
It's almost a fluff piece. It sort of gives you a broad strokes of what the organization is and where it came from. But the most important thing I think that it tells you in that is the backstory of McMahon. And I admittedly, we all know what's going on through the McMahon shit at the moment.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry.
But let's put that to the side for now. Let's just put that to the side.
Even though the documentary doesn't, because it literally opens every episode
by saying,
like I do have it written down what it says, but somewhere I'll get to it.
Yeah, it's like the following interviews were taken after the
before the allegations came out. There was one that he was signed in for after the allegations broke. Another interview,
right?
Vince McMahon that he just didn't turn up to.
Yeah,
shocking as well. How many times do you think? How many interviews do you think were actually included in this from Vince McMahon? Because it just looks like the same interview.
It does. It does look like one interview.
But
to be fair, I can only imagine that he would do one interview.
No, but it's multiple shoots.
Is it?
That is multiple shoots. I didn't learn this until this morning. I learned a few of the secrets on it from the backstage.
For real, because he looks
it's
like
multiple shoots, and they didn't even tell him to wear the same suit.
Jesus Christ, that is such a McMahon move. That is. I just want to get this out of the way. As I say, I have to put everything, the sexual assault allegations aside, because that is a serious fucking topic. But I do like Vince McMahon more.
Oh, you can't not. That's the funny thing about it too. Just as a wrestling fan, you respect the hell out of Vince McMahon because what I love wouldn't be here without him.
I respect more than anything else his thing of like, well, is it good for the business?
Yeah,
I don't care how I feel about it. Then it's good for the business. Let's do it.
A lot of people will say that kind of thing, but won't follow through with it.
That's it. He is 100% does that.
There's one in this that they don't even mention, for example.
Oh shit! I don't have a tappy. Huh? Tapperoonie. Oh, it's over there.
Oh, okay, yeah. They show a few of them, which we'll mention in a bit. There's like a couple of people that sued the company, and then he brought them back still. Yeah. There's quite a few, but one they didn't include in this was CM Punk. He's the most recent one.
Yeah.
He sued the company, was gone for ages, tried to help the competitor and everything. Still brought him back. One of the last things that he did, and Cody Rhodes as well.
Yeah.
Who was in this interview near the end.
Yeah.
He built up AEW, the biggest competitor to WWE since AEW. God, I love it. I'm getting to talk wrestling in general today. It's great.
It's good, isn't it?
You've
been dying to do this for fucking years.
I'm always dying to talk about wrestling, but I know not to because most people aren't into wrestling. I've learned that a long time ago.
Honestly, the thing I found most confusing about it is like the amount of parallels I've got with McMahon.
Oh yeah.
I don't quite get that. Wasn't expecting to come into the documentary and go like, oh shit, for real? Me too, dude.
Bear in mind though, he does say very near, and probably in the first episode, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when he said it, but he does point out that when he talks, he's never usually saying what he thinks. He's saying what he thinks everybody wants him to say.
Yeah.
So he might even think the stuff that you're thinking there.
It's true.
Like, you know what I'm
saying? It's less about what he thought and more about the stuff he's been through.
Yeah.
You know,
like he kicks off at the beginning talking about his relationship with his dad. Like, he up until 12 didn't even know his actual dad, Vince McMahon Senior.
Yeah.
I think it was Vince McMahon Senior.
I can't say that I connect with that bit, but I did have divorced parents, so I did know what that was like.
Yeah.
And I did have a stepdad who occasionally went out of line, but there we go.
Okay. I mean, the messed up part though is glossed over later on, but I think it makes more sense to mention it here as well.
Yeah.
Is that he was also sexually assaulted. Well, he never outright says it, but he insinuates in a 2001 Playboy interview that he was sexually assaulted by his mom.
Yeah.
And while they mention that, they show Vince McMahon, elderly Vince McMahon now, greeting his mom, who's super old in a wheelchair. The McMahons don't die.
No, basically. They don't.
We've seen what his son Shane has done. He should be dead.
They've got good genes.
Yeah, apparently so.
And also, did you notice how much the young McMahon looked like Andrew Tate?
Which Shane McMahon?
No, Vince McMahon.
Oh, the young
young pictures of Vince McMahon look like a young picture of Andrew Tate.
I can see what you're saying, kind of.
I don't know why, and even like when he's baby face, like at the start, he still looks a little bit like fucking Andrew Tate.
I get what you're saying with hair. Obviously.
Yeah, with hair, but
crap hair.
Yeah,
but his hair got better in the in the attitude. That's the one thing I always think. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I look at Vince's hair, and that's how I go by like the different points of his life.
I like the fact that Vince McMahon has also went like, well, people hate me. I'm going to be the ultimate heel. Excellent, brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just step into the ring and let people beat pummel on me. You know, fuck it.
I mean, that's another thing too. People forget as well that
Yeah.
he not only did a load of steroids, but halfway through all of this stuff, he was at 50 and onwards, multiple concussions.
Yeah.
A lot of concussions.
Yeah.
He is literally, even in his old years, in his 70s.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Rob Gronkowski? The
Yeah,
football player. He was doing something in WWE, and he was supposed to like kind of fall off this balcony. He was scared to.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
performance center during COVID, and Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, you wimp, do it like this." He gets on the balcony, jumps off, and shows him.
Jesus Christ.
He's like that now, still, you know.
Jesus Christ. That dude, like, I respect it so much. Just the
And-
fucking, I'm going to fucking lead by example.
I don't. Yeah, he is very much that, but I don't
Yeah.
know how much I fully accept of this new lawsuit. Anyway, we'll get into it later. But to me, but you know me, I'm always looking at every side. Like,
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much sometimes.
Well,
but-
I don't think anything
plen-
is decided until it's been through a court of law.
yeah, and even then.
Innocent until proven guilty. Sorry, that is the way this works.
But like as Vince McMahon goes on to say later on, it's like we're getting out the bits that we agree with him on first.
yeah.
Because he just say later on, unfortunately, as soon as you're accused of being a rapist, you're a rapist.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, like
There's
are
not a
you?
way out.
There's very little.
People just assume you are.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Especially as a powerful person. I mean, big whoop over.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're saying all this now, but there are so much things that he has done and he has been a part of that. As
Not
much as I
great.
love the guy, he probably should be in prison.
Yeah.
Some people definitely should be in prison.
Yeah.
And it's just craziness. But
Yeah.
let's get into it properly then. Well, I say that I haven't fucking opened up the page yet. I don't think there's anything else I'm forgetting from the. There's little quotes that we'll get to later that I've got noted down as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm forgetting anything else from just our little talkings before it. Is there anything else you want to mention before we get into the actual, you know, episode by episode? I've changed the order a bit too, because in my opinion, some of it I'm like, why was this here?
Yeah.
It should have been here.
Yeah.
So this is how it should have gone.
Hang on, I'm going to sneeze, I think.
I said no. When I say you can't sneeze, you can't sneeze.
I
Though.
do
What's going
double,
on?
mate. You tell me no, I do
Oh, that's
double.
it. The same bit where they were on about like the multiple shoots.
Yeah.
He would also turn up like hours late, like past like supposed to be there at 6 and he'd get there by like 11 kind of thing or something. PM I'm talking.
Jesus Christ.
And this was the same team that made Andre the Giant's documentary and Tiger King.
Yeah.
And they said his interview shoots were the most bizarre shoots they've ever done.
Okay.
Because that whole bit when he was in the ring, there was a team all around him in the background, which you can hear him talking to. At
Yeah,
different
yeah.
times, reminding him of his past, different things.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem to remember half of it.
And maybe he forgets.
There's a bit at one point where they go like,
one go.
yeah, there's one bit where he goes like, oh, there was a bit where she was your mistress, and then he's talking about I can't remember who it was. It was one of the women they brought on to be part of the Raw era stuff.
Oh, what? Who you on about? Sorry, the
It was-
mistress, the blonde one.
Yeah,
Trish
yeah.
Stratus.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, we'll get to her.
Yeah, and they were talking about that shit, and he goes, she was supposed to be your mistress, and he goes, who? Me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think that was Sable. That was Sable when they were on about.
That's
him,
that's Sable.
when
Yeah,
they had a relationship. He's like,
Yeah.
in character. Oh yeah.
yeah. No.
Too,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And then she made Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So episode 1, they run the claims at the start of the show, acknowledging that Vince resigned from WWE in 2024 after allegations of sexual misconduct, assault, and trafficking. And most of the interviews took place before then. We will point out the ones that took place afterwards because they put themselves out, basically moaning about it. I don't know if you've seen that. These are basically Vince McMahon's childhood, like we already talked about, not meeting his dad until he was 12, discovering the WWF, etc.
Yep.
Vince when he met
Buying
his
the
father,
WWF from his dad,
Mhm.
and then under like duress, basically of like, if you don't make these payments, you lose it.
Vince.
Yeah.
That was the only way he persuaded. His dad didn't want to sell it to him.
Yeah.
He persuaded him by, like you said, he said, if I don't have to pay the money, but you
Yeah.
have to pay me the money back.
Yeah.
If I pay you, I don't know what the number was, but 3 million, and it's 3.2.
It's
I
amazing.
don't pay the last point too. You keep that 3 million.
Yeah, it's amazing. He talks about his dad only. His dad said he was proud of him once to him, and his dad said he loved him once. And to Vince, that was enough.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, well, that's that. It's been said, so it's been said, so it's good, so it's fine.
First time he met his dad, he went for a hug, but his dad didn't reciprocate.
Yeah, gave him just and he goes like, it's almost like he was, oh, this is a new experience.
Yeah. It is interesting because he goes on to be like a father figure for everyone. He's got like such daddy issues too, obviously.
Yeah.
They completely skipped over the ruthless acquisition of the territories.
Although you got to say, to be fair to Vince, he has been, from what you can tell, a pretty good dad. Like, he's had some issues, some major issues, but considering where he came from and considering the father figure he's
a caring guy.
He's a lot more caring than his dad was.
He's very caring. We'll hear a story later on about what he did for one of the guys' wife who had cancer. I'm not going to mention now, actually.
Yeah.
So she's been given like very small amount of time,
Yeah.
and he paid for her to like have like great treatment, like shipped her off, like to the best place. And that was like 20 odd years ago, and she's still around now.
Fuck
because
yeah.
of that.
Fuck yeah.
Which is why the guy was saying, he's one of the guys who came back and did an interview after the stuff had come out, and he'd seen an early release of the documentary.
Yeah.
And he said they asked him how he felt about it, and he just straight up said he sucked.
Yeah.
Like, it was a hit piece on Vince,
like
all this stuff and that. Surprisingly, he would say that after the allegations still, but he's obviously with something like that though. He's team Vince all the way.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100%. You got to be fucking ride or die Vince at that point.
There is no. This is not a black and white thing.
It's Vince, like you can tell. Both. You can tell. Fucking Terry is fucking ride or die.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
he is ride or fucking die.
He is now.
Yeah,
he wasn't for a long time.
Yeah.
And he only is now.
But
because,
again,
like he says, Vince likes him because he knows he can't just rip the t-shirt off.
Yeah, but he also, again, he was one of the ones that Vince was like, well, he went off, he got himself a better deal. I'm not going to say no to having the talent on my side though, because it's good for the business.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what I feel about the situation. He may still have liked Hulk Hogan. He may still have hated Hulk Hogan. Right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because
the business would be better with Hulk Hogan.
I mean, there might have been some guilt there though, because unfortunately, when it started, he very much destroyed the business. Because before Vince bought WWF, it was territories, so different pits owned different
Every
areas.
different state almost had its own sort of
some
wrestling
federation, etc. And they would go to different places, etc. And he monopolized it.
Yeah, he was like, no, I'm going to start going into your state and doing shows. I'm going into your state and doing shows,
taking your best people.
Buying out all of the best talent, which is ironic because later on, I'm just going to skip forward, sorry, because I can't help.
That's all right. We'll be doing that constantly.
The WCW bit where he's doing exactly the same thing to WCW, and he's like, oh, but it was different because he had lots of money and this was a family business. And it's like, what, man? All of those people were family businesses that you were just tearing apart. It's the same thing, man. It's competition. The fact is, he still managed to outlive his competition, which we'll find out later on in the
doc.
Well,
I mean, he hasn't now. To be fair, he's been kicked out, but
now. But think about that reign. How many? Not even fucking joking. How many CEOs? Well, he's not CEO because his wife's CEO, but he's the sort of.
They jumped around.
He's the owner. He's the owner. He's the top dog. He's the head, right? And he literally has been there steering this ship for
early 90s, I think.
I mean, earlier than that, it was the 80s.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, because he took over in the 80s.
Yeah, because WrestleMania,
like early 80s, and then WrestleMania came in at like 86 or 89.
He also claims he came up in the documentary. He claims that he came up with the name WrestleMania. He didn't. Everybody knows Howard Finkel came up with the name WrestleMania.
There you go.
Do you want to know what the name was that Vince wanted to go with? We even know what name he wanted to go with.
Go on.
The Colossal Tussle. Another bit totally skipped over. Ignored.
Colossal Tussle.
The best part about this though as well, watching through it, being a wrestling fan. So all of us like watching it, we knew when they were saying something that would revive completely. It didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So many bits. The documentary just later though, I'll jump forward now. You know when they talk about Owen Hart's death.
Yeah.
When he fell from the sky.
Yeah.
Thingy. and they show in the documentary the blood stain on the canvas and people wrestling around it. That's not his blood stain.
No,
bullshit. That was from an earlier spot in the pay-per-view.
That makes sense because he didn't land on that part
Exactly.
of the fucking...
He landed in the corner.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. That was from an earlier spot in the pay-per-view where there was a team called the Brood. It was Edge Christian.
Oh, was that just a cut?
No, it was Edge Christian and Gangrel. They were vampires and they would spit blood.
Oh, right.
They'd sometimes drop blood on people, but it was from that early
Right, okay.
Yeah, like
now, the thing is, what would you have done in that situation? Would you have cancelled the show and told people that he died?
I agree. The show always has to go on.
I agree.
And the wrestlers did.
I agree. And I think that's sort of kind of the whole point, isn't that?
That's kind of what Owen would want.
It's a theatrical thing. That's what it is. And then in the theatre, the show must go on.
And especially because, especially because they were vindicated as well in the long run to show they were not at fault.
Yeah.
They were vindicated.
They weren't responsible. The company knew it was faulty and they still sold the product.
Owen Hart, they also missed out in this though.
Yeah.
Owen Hart didn't do a run through like he was supposed to.
Right.
But that was more Owen Hart's decision.
But I know a run through wouldn't have helped because he would have just died in the fucking run through.
Yeah. He'd done it before anyway.
Yeah.
It was just a new, different type of thing they were using. They wanted a instant release clasp. And that's what it was to cause this.
But he still would have just died in the run through.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like
so.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
That doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything.
The sense that the people there having to see it though.
Yeah.
But they didn't know he had died either.
No.
A lot of them had missed because it was so quick too.
Yeah, and it was really dark supposedly.
Yeah. The only worst part was the match that went on right after it was like one of Owen Hart's best mates, and you could tell him trying to do the promo before it.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have changed the order for him. But that would have been hard to do.
Yeah.
That might have been the match before the main event for all I know. I can't remember.
Yeah, it might have been.
So they might not have been able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that was skipped over as usual. He got during that Territories time though, Vince got so many death threats.
Yeah.
Because it's like mafia shit, some of it was.
Yeah.
But as I've told you before, there've been so many legit organized murders and that in wrestling. And this was taking people's money. But he also mentioned this is one thing the wrestling people didn't know.
Yeah.
Whether it's true, we don't know. But Hulk Hogan obviously became the face of WWE.
Yeah.
Before he offered it to Hulk Hogan, he offered it to Dusty Rhodes, apparently. Dusty just didn't believe in the idea that he would be able to monopolize and make it
a single entity. Yeah.
Obviously, it was proved wrong. But yeah, apparently, this was never meant. No one ever knew that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know anything about WCW becoming that much bigger. I always thought it was like the mid-sized competitor in comparison. I didn't think it was like
WCW.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't realize there was a whole era where
weeks.
WCW just literally fuck it. That's what they say.
Weeks. It's
83 straight fucking weeks.
The guy who did it, Eric Bischoff, he had a podcast called 83 Weeks.
Yeah. Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does. He gave off those vibes in the doc as well of like, yeah, man, I fucking did that shit.
I like Eric Bischoff. He's a smart guy. I think.
Yeah.
Now anyway, a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how they fucked themselves over, WCW?
Go on.
They screwed themselves because they started giving out, because they were live and Raw was still taped at this point.
Yeah.
They started giving out results.
Oh yeah.
And they said, "Oh yeah, you want to stick with us because going on the other channel, they've got Mick Foley, Mankind, about to win the WWE title. Huh, yeah, who's going to want to see that?" Everyone apparently.
Everyone
turned over to watch it, and they never got their ratings back.
Oh god,
they screwed themselves, man.
That's so stupid.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, I want to see Mick Foley win."
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
they didn't mention that.
It's such a genuine, and that it comes into like the era that I know quite late in the documentary. After like so many different eras, it suddenly comes across like the Rock era and the Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I remember because that's what people around me were watching, but I didn't have access to.
Let me finish up just with that, and we'll get to that because this bit goes into it, and after I believe.
Okay.
So first, then it went on about WrestleMania 3, where everyone was saying about how they sold 93,000 tickets.
Let's talk about the WrestleManias because the WrestleManias are a very interesting little like segment in and of themselves.
That one, first of all, 93,000 tickets they put everywhere they sold.
Yeah.
They sold 78.
Yeah, and that's like that's actual factual.
Yeah, that's factual.
Yeah.
They also made out in
but it still
WrestleMania.
doesn't matter. It's still
It's amazing
78,000
still.
people.
It was amazing still.
in a stadium watching fucking
every one of
wrestling.
them things footage numbers like that because they include all the people, the staff, they
Yeah,
include the wrestlers.
Yeah.
There's ways to push those numbers up. They are
Yeah.
legit numbers still.
They're still there. That many people were there.
Yeah, it's just most
Yeah.
that
That some of those people were
workers.
just working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
Yeah.
in that fucking
In that stadium.
in that business.
I mean, as a push, it was remarkable, and like WrestleMania 3 legit looks like one of those occasions.
Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. If nobody's sure which one that was.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
famous one.
Yeah, and it literally looks like one of those occasions that was in its own artistic sort of genre, was similar to like being there for Live Aid.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or being there for like when the Beatles first played.
Yeah,
you know, it's that kind of fucking energy, that kind of meaning to the sport. Weirdly,
I mean, you say that though, but do you want to know why they didn't really talk much about WrestleMania 1 in this main event
Go on,
or
then.
anything? Because the WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 1 main event, was who was it now? It was Roddy Piper and someone, I forget who. Zeus, I think it was.
Right.
This guy from a film.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that part now, but versus Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
Right.
And during it, Roddy Piper was just very racist all the time. Most of the time you saw him through all of it, he was half white, half black.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of the time. Very hard to talk about that now.
Yeah.
No, I think they brushed over completely. They focused on WrestleMania 3, where Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant for the first ever time.
Yeah, except he'd already literally done it to him
25 times.
And they were like, it's the first time they've ever met, and they'd already had 3 fights.
Oh, yeah, he actually slammed him before a few times. Hulk Hogan himself.
Literally, they've got footage of it.
Yeah. And they also argued as well that during this, that we didn't know if Andre was actually going to work with Hulk Hogan. He might not have let him pin him. We don't know. Yeah, you fucking did.
Yeah, because he's done it before.
Yeah, he was well happy putting people over at this point in his career.
Yeah.
This guy was just worried about doing it so he could get enough money to drink himself to sleep.
Yeah, that's all Andre did. That's what Andre did. Yeah.
Well, fair play to him. He'd earned that by that point.
Yeah.
So any more you want to say about WrestleMania though at this point before we get to the badder bits?
Honestly, WrestleMania 3 looked amazing. WrestleMania 2 looked like it was a fucking diabolical shit show.
I can't even remember that one.
That was the one where they had 2 different events happening. Or 3 different events happening.
That was WrestleMania 2.
Yeah. So it was like New York, LA, and somewhere else. I can't remember.
Yeah, it didn't work too well.
And it was apparently fucking terrible. Like Chicago, I think it was.
You know that in the first one though, Vince sinks like literally all of his money into it, and it was either sink or go great, or that was it.
Yeah,
he put everything into it.
Yeah.
Luckily, like you said,
it worked.
It became like a staple.
Yeah,
like Live Aid, etc.
Yeah.
At this point, then Tony Atlas, one of the only people that was talking from back in the day,
the
bald guy with the tie and the no sleeves for some reason.
Yeah.
He had some of the best lines in it because he was one of the only people that didn't really give a crap about towing the line. Because did you notice the one guy come up, if you remember, at the end of this, they asked him something and he was like, "Oh well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know how much they want out, or something like that."
Yeah.
And Tony Atlas just comes out with anything. He's like, "What was the one bit? All wrestlers abuse women." They were like pawns to him. So we all abuse
that guy.
women.
Yeah. That guy was so honest. Like you knew everything he fucking said was 100% facts.
And then he went straight into the Ring Boy scandal, which is one that I wasn't
aware of that. That was strange.
Full-on little paedophile ring.
Full-blown paedophile ring in the WWE.
Yeah. I forget the name of the main people now, but the one that
have you noticed as well in the documentary, whenever they say WWF, they automatically change it in the subtitles to WWE.
Yeah, they do it in general now. I think they have to because
legally they have to. Yeah,
they literally got sued. And there was no way they were going to win that.
No.
I remember
the WWF existed since like the 50s. So
yeah.
So there's no way they were going to say they fucking got there first.
I remember watching wrestling when that happened.
Yeah,
just went on to one day watching it.
Yeah,
and then just suddenly noticed, hold on.
Why is
the symbol different?
Yeah. What the fuck?
And then, after that, it was all the slogan was all "Get the F out."
Right. Yeah.
I think they went well.
Yeah.
And
they rolled with the punch.
And like they said, they weren't a federation at that point. They were an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So it made sense, really.
Yeah. And to be fair, WWE is just as catchy a name as WWF.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know?
But like with this Ring Boy scandal bit though, so the Ring Boys were the ones that would come in and help build a ring and that.
Yeah.
And apparently, it seems the two people, there was 3 people named. 2 of them, the guy was like, yeah, no comment on them. But the one guy, Pat Patterson, everybody is adamant that he was innocent and that they only went after him because he was one of the only openly gay people at the time.
Yeah.
Working in the industry. And they're like, oh, he's gay, so he must be a deviant.
Right.
Which, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I could see that maybe being the case. But the problem is that he then cuts to Tony Atlas saying, oh, yeah, I remember when we was on the lacquer the once and he grabbed my pecker.
Yeah, so I 100% believe that dude.
Yeah.
Yep, he grabbed his pecker.
So I actually kind of thought maybe Pat Patterson was
But at the same time,
he's an adult,
he's an adult, not a kid.
Yeah, that's the thing that I need.
That's what changes that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because provided he's not touching up kids, it's not as bad. It's still not great.
Obviously,
If
it's
he's just
not
going
bad,
around just
I know what you're saying.
groping the packages of wrestlers.
Yeah.
That's not a great move.
The people that he know can't say anything because, like they said, he is more important. Like Tony Atlas said,
Yeah.
what's he going to...
Yeah, what am I going to do? Go in to get fired?
Yeah, he needs the booker more than he needs him.
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
The booker, like, if people aren't fully aware of what that means, literally means what you think. They create.
That's why
with the matches.
you don't hear a
winners, the
word.
champions.
You don't hear a fucking word from Hulk Hogan during that entire bit because you know
Yeah.
that guy didn't touch anywhere near Hulk Hogan.
What do you mean?
That guy never would have gone for Hulk Hogan's junk.
Yeah.
Because Hulk Hogan was more important to McMahon than that Booker was.
I mean, Hulk Hogan, we all think is probably gay anyway, so he might have been into it.
Well, that's the thing, isn't
Allegedly.
it? Like, is it gay? Is it cuckoldry? It's hard to tell
Depends if you're into it or
because
not.
he's been used as the bull on occasion, and there's been like, you know what that is, right? So like in a cuckold situation, there's the cuck and there's the bull, right?
Right.
And the bull is the person who comes in and fucks the
Right,
wife
that
in front of the
makes
cuck,
sense, okay, yeah.
right? So that's essentially what Hulk Hogan was used for at one point, to bang this dude's wife, and the videos got leaked to the press of Hulk Hogan fucking this guy's wife. And they're like, this guy's fucking this guy's wife, and he's like, yeah, that's the point, dude. We were fucking, and like, you don't have a right to come into our fucking private business, so get fucked.
But isn't that when he got leaked on that footage? Being racist.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was the footage when he was being racist.
Yeah, that was either that one or like the shortly after. Because no, it was shortly after because like he was talking to his daughter, and his daughter secretly recorded it because he was like, "You're not staying with this."
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh mate,
Jesus, man. And then his daughter did that as well.
Yeah.
Like he brought his daughter in. She'd been in the wrestling business with him, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
She was in TNA doing stuff.
But also at the same time, if you're dating someone and your dad's being a racist prick,
oh yeah, of course,
100%.
I'm surprised you would put it out to them. Maybe she didn't put it out to the media.
Maybe she just recorded it and someone took it. I think. Yeah.
How did we get onto that? Though?
I don't know. This is just all flavour around the documentary. That's what this is to a certain extent.
But Pat Patterson, I mean, he might not have done kids, but that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Why it was so important. Like, you heard of the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
He came up with that. That was his thing. He came up with so many finishes as well that people know.
Well, I mean, that's what they said. He was like
mega brain.
Yeah, he was like the ultimate. Like he was like a savant for the wrestling business.
That's exactly what
he just knew exactly what to do and when to make the most money out of the business. And he matched up with McMahon, the one guy who had the opportunity to give him the national fucking like wrestling situation. He was no longer dealing with like a state that was doing quite well. He was now dealing with a guy who had the national fucking control, and then this guy who's been doing this for fucking years on a state level takes all of these brilliant ideas he's had for years and deploys them at a national level.
And he's paid greatly, like we all know. He goes with him, like he takes care of the people. He obviously is not homophobic at all. It's one thing you have to give to Vince.
I really like that as well.
He's like, not homophobic. He's not racist at all.
It's like The Rock as well. He goes at one point, he goes like, I went up to him afterwards and I said, you know, I'm the first, you know, person of color to win the belt. And he goes,
black
I don't care about that. And he's like, and then the other guy goes,
Tony Atlas.
oh yeah, of course he does. Yeah, Tony Atlas.
Yeah.
The nurse is here.
Right.
It's the same one that was sat in the car for absolutely ages.
Oh, don't worry about it then. When she knocks, all sorted.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it. When she knocks, all sorted. We're live on the thing now.
Okay, all right then.
Bye. Love you.
Yeah, but Atlas goes like, "I didn't care." That's the one thing about it. He didn't care if you're black or white. He just cared about the green.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't see black or white. He just saw green.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only color he saw.
yeah, that's all he cared about, and that's that. But that to me is why capitalism is, in a lot of ways, less racist than a lot of other different
Oh
types
yeah,
of
definitely.
Because it's like, oh, you make money. Come on in,
That's pretty
motherfucker,
much
make
what it
some
comes
fucking
down
money
to,
for
isn't it?
us.
That's
Yeah.
That's what business should come down. I think that's
Yeah.
why WWE has been such a successful business for
Yeah,
long,
yeah,
because of that mindset.
And they've always had black people in the WWE.
yeah.
They've always had, like women
there as
in the
well.
WWE. They've always
Well-
had, what, to a certain
Well, yeah,
extent.
they have always had
Not
women, yeah.
always like
Presented
on
the
their,
best.
yeah,
Yeah.
not always presented the best, but they've always been there.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, they have.
know?
Always been. There's always been a women's title
That's right.
or Divas title at least.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, though, we go straight from that
Yeah.
to then it goes straight into the Rita Chatterton
Mm.
situation, which was a referee, the first lady referee
Yeah.
they announced her.
And
who
fully accused him of full blown.
First oral, and then when she couldn't meet his needs,
Yeah.
he made her get on top and then have sex basically from the
Yeah.
sounds of it.
Yeah.
Which it was just one of those things though. Just her story for some reason, said in the documentary, just wasn't believed. It wasn't really
Yeah.
taken on by people.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's always
I
that-
mean, the thing is, then like they later say in like some of the text, like during an amnesty, during like a New York sort
Yeah.
of legal amnesty for this kind of stuff.
well, before they get into that, I know you're about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
He mentioned when he's talking to Vince, he says, "No, I didn't do it. Since you're accused of being a rapist, you're a rapist."
Yeah.
But then goes on to say, and even if it had been raped, the statute of limitations had run out.
Yeah. It's like that's
So
not,
hold on, man. What?
that's not a good look.
And then, like you said,
And then it literally says in the text, like in like 20,
York.
2000 something, like
yeah.
New York had an amnesty on the
that thing said fuck. I just said it. The statute of limitations.
statute of limitations.
Yeah. And during that time,
And then suddenly, like all of these people were allowed to come out with all of these previously historic sex crimes.
well, no, not necessarily that, but that one in particular.
yeah,
Because this is a while back. I don't think this was like right in the last couple of years or anything.
yeah,
I think it was like 2012, that kind of time, something like that.
yeah,
It just, the limitations came out, and then he suddenly settled with Rita Chatterton.
with millions.
Yeah, yeah.
Millions.
We'll
we're
find
talking.
out later. Like there's been so many people
Yeah.
that have come out, and he's paid hush money to. Everybody that watched wrestling always knew. Eventually, the one thing that was going to come out about Vince McMahon wasn't going to be like drugs, wasn't going to be all this other stuff. It was going to be either
Sex.
sexual deviance.
Sex.
Because at any time he has a chance, he mentions how sexually versatile,
Virile. he is.
virile
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah.
And all of his sort of stuff, where he can, he'll sort of force in a part of him, sort of kissing someone or
Oh,
looking
yeah.
all manly and shit. And it's like, it's very clear that this guy wants to eat, breathe, and sleep testosterone.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, he admitted to being a steroid user.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously,
Yeah.
like, obviously, this guy just who looks like a meek little guy at the start of his career, like, comes in halfway through, like, his 40s, suddenly looking like a fucking uber chad.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't do that natty, bro.
No,
like, there's
no.
no freaking way.
But everyone does stand up for him and say that he has never once asked them to take steroids.
No.
Or told them to.
There's
or anything.
steroids around, and
I think they just chose.
and
to,
they
a
also
lot of
just
them.
went and you just made the decision. You looked around and you saw that all the people who were the prime time
yeah.
people were taking
more
steroids.
and more was becoming like that.
Yeah.
Suddenly. And also,
You had to have these godlike fucking bodies.
and where did they get these steroids from? The doctor that the official people
Yeah.
gave to them to make sure everything was going officially. He's
Yeah.
the one that supplied the steroids
Yeah.
to people.
You literally have to look like fucking Kratos.
Oh, it's crazy, and it's
And I also noticed, sorry, we can
Good that it's
leap
gone
forward
away.
just a little bit, just for a
Ah.
second, to talk about how John Cena is 98% abdomen.
oh yeah. You got a
What the
giant
fuck
butt.
is going on
You
with
got a
that?
giant butt, ain't
Like, literally, like, his groin to his chest is about a good 70% of the length of his body.
Yeah.
Why are his legs so short?
And his ass sticks out.
And his ass sticks
I
full
did
on
learn
out.
actually. He does have.
He
a
does
spine
have a
thing,
spine thing, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But he
yeah.
never. We literally. I didn't learn that until he was a more of an actor.
Must have sucked to learn how to do the bumps properly with that.
I guess it just didn't issue. It wasn't an issue. People get their backs fused and they're still okay taking bumps.
Maybe, yeah.
Different kind of pressure, I think.
Maybe, because the
rather than
idea is to get it
downwards,
as
it's
flat as you possibly can.
Exactly,
Isn't
yeah.
it?
And he was a safe wrestler. He didn't take crazy dives or anything.
No.
You know, he was very, which I think the best wrestlers are the ones that stay for the best amount of time,
Yeah.
the longest careers are the ones that have a safer style.
Yeah.
Randy Orton, he has zero wasted movement in the ring.
Yeah. That's
But
good.
he's very much like, you know, Sliver watched kick him in the hand when the hand's down or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
But even he still had his back fused in the end.
Yeah.
So that's the. Oh, did you know that during the Did you? I don't know if they showed it, but I think they did during the steroid trial. He had a comedy neck brace on.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
And he was like, "Oh no, that was
Injured,
definitely for a
apparently.
surgery. That was definitely for."
Yeah,
It
that
does
was
not
it.
look like it was for a surgery, bro. Because he's literally moving his head around like,
yeah, that famous shot. Like, yeah, sure, Vince, sure, of course you are.
Yeah, sure, mate. It's real tough being Vince right now.
Now, apparently, Hulk Hogan mentions at this point.
Yeah.
Now, let's remember, we can all completely twist everything Hulk Hogan says.
It's 100% accurate all the time.
100%.
Never told a lie in his life.
No.
That's what they called him, Old Honest Hogan.
Old Honest Hogan, yeah. Everyone.
HH.
Yeah, he was the beginning to Triple H, man.
Yeah,
Triple H was the sequel.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot where I was going now. Oh yeah, he said that the FBI or whoever it was came up to him telling him that he had to go on the stand and be honest, say that Vince had done all this, and if he didn't, then they were going to be going after him for like 17 years. So actually, Hulk Hogan went on stage and he couldn't drop Vince McMahon under the bus because he knew he hadn't done it. So he told the truth anyway. Stuff be damned. But luckily, he'd got immunity just before that or something.
Yeah.
So what are you even saying then?
No, literally, he went in. He was like, "Okay, I'll tell you everything you want to know on the stand, provided I get immunity." And they're like, "Okay, so you want to say all of this stuff for us? Yeah. And you want to say all of this stuff for us? Yeah, totally, bro. And you want to say this for us? Totally, 100%, bro." And then Hogan walks in, sits down, and goes, "Nah, McMahon's a sweetheart. You're a fucking liar."
Now,
nah, it's all bullshit, mate.
Now, Hulk Hogan is known for in his contract to always have creative control.
Right.
I don't think it goes all the way
That
over to the federal government.
That hasn't always been a good move for him anyway. I mean, have you seen
Never
that
good
fucking like black beard shit he did around the fucking?
Oh, WCW.
Yeah.
I loved Hollywood Hulk Hogan. That style, man.
Mate.
Oh yeah, with the handlebar. He wasn't even the first to do that. It was Superstar Billy Graham did that first.
Oh, right.
Which is, I think, one of the people that Vince McMahon talked about being a huge fan of back in the day.
It does sort of lean into that theatrical thing of like the bad guy has a dark beard.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was
You
the
know
first ever time
that?
he'd done
Did you
it.
know that? Like this is a fact, right? One of the reasons why most movie stars never have a beard is because beards don't do well in other countries. In countries like China, if someone's has a beard, they're seen to be an evil person or a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
And clean-shaven people are good.
Oh,
and it's
when
like
you
in
think
lots of
about the
other
old
countries.
Fu Manchus and all that.
There's loads of places in the world where that's the case as well. So instead of fucking bothering to lose out on that market, everyone's just fucking clean-shaven in movies.
That's because they base so much of it on the Chinese market nowadays as well. Because it's so big.
Yep.
It's a huge part, isn't
It's
it?
a big old chunk.
If they lose them,
And it's like you're not paying as much for a ticket, but there's so many people paying for a ticket, you're not going to say no to that money. You know? Like, say in China, the ticket price is going to sell for less over in comparison to the way it would sell in America. So like dollar wise,
right, yeah.
it's like $5 for them versus like $14 in America. So,
okay. It's a
but
lot cheaper.
Yeah, but because there's like fuck tons more people in
I see.
China who can be marketed to, they're going to cut movies specifically for the Chinese market so that they can get their big sweet ass Chinese money.
Yeah. And apparently that's why they're always like over 2 hours, because it's something that the Chinese apparently like.
Yeah.
It's for that market.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it makes sense. It's more than us. We have a terrible attention span over here.
There's movies, especially like the Marvel movies, where there's been entirely like Chinese scenes only for the Chinese market with entirely separate characters that are only for the Chinese market put into the movies.
There was something about like when Tony Stark got
in Ultron,
saved or something.
Yeah, in Ultron.
Yeah.
There is a woman who's there for like 5 minutes in the Western cut, but she's there for like half an hour in the Chinese cut.
It's a whole extra thing.
Yeah, well, they're like, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Which we get it over here too. And this luckily though, This wasn't propaganda. This was very. People were complaining about this documentary, saying that Vince McMahon wasn't challenged enough by the interviewers. First of all, for all we know, he might have been challenged in the later interviews.
Yeah.
Because we learn in this that he gets irate at interviewers.
Oh right.
Did you not see?
The bit where he flips
Slapping the
someone's
thing,
fucking thing out of his
Getting
hand.
close.
Yeah, he's like, I'm thinking about throttling him right there, right then.
Look at David Lucas on the Tan Man.
Yeah.
The same vibe.
Yeah.
Well, without the sexual tension, maybe.
Maybe.
not quite
Maybe.
so much.
Also, I want to point out, viewers, this isn't a stain on my shirt; it's a shadow.
Yeah,
if you've not been noticing, look, there we go. Proof. It's on my hand.
Yeah, I mean, you could move the thing.
No. Yeah, there you go. But yeah,
I like how you were trying to show the shadow by touching the shadow.
yeah.
Actually, see.
Yeah. No, but I haven't just been slowly drooling over the process of this entire podcast. Although that isn't impossible.
No. And my jumper definitely doesn't smell.
No,
I never smell.
I never smell.
Well, I might smell a little bit when I'm at the 1000 Trades, playing the part of Grandpa from Only Fools and Horses.
Hey,
With lines I'll get nearer, and I don't know any more than that, really.
that's
It'll
cool.
be fun.
That's good.
I like the random shit, you know.
Yeah.
Figure it out on a night. That's my vibe.
That's my vibe too.
Was it the 5th of October, Saturday?
Nice.
Yeah. But what's John? What kind of Palmer? John Palmer?
Yeah.
What's his name, innit?
I think so.
Oh, I've gone out of my head then completely. The American guy, everyone knows the American guy.
Parnum?
I got it on.
God damn it! You've blown my head off now. I don't know.
Now I'm questioning it. I'm like, I sure it is. Hold on, I can check it. It's right here. John Parman.
Parman.
That was it. Need a hard end there.
There you go.
Need a hard end.
Yeah.
I just
We love you, John.
Oh, I love John. John's cool, man.
Apologies.
He's one of the few people that doesn't give a shit about all the bullshit.
He's a champion. That guy.
America, you know, they never do anything wrong.
I was so happy the time that I turned up to it, because the first few times I'd seen John, it was like stretched over a good 2 years. But every time he saw me, I was doing the same set, even though I was working on different sets. I just happened to be working on that one that time every time.
I've had that before.
And he was like, and then I finally went to
do some new stuff, man.
Yeah, and then exactly, like, oh yeah, okay, see you're still working on that. And it's like, oh no, I've got another set I'm working on. They're like, oh yeah, sure you do. And then I went to this other one and I did a whole other set, and he was like, oh wow, so you've got like quite a few sets now. It's like, yeah, I've got like another one on top of that one as well.
You need that though, man. You need all these different things you can just kind of pull out. If you can have that, like, you know, it is nice now going to like a gig and having ideas of like things you, even though I haven't been able to do for a while, of having different things you want to do, but also knowing you've got all this stuff in the back you can just.
Oh, I know exactly. I know what my next topic is finally.
What do you mean?
I know what my next topic is for stand up. What my next like thing.
Overarching thing.
Yeah. Well, not even thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah. Because I never like to decide what the theme is until I've sort of got into it, because it tells you what the theme is while you make the jokes and come.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think structure is the most important part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I will kill a joke, even if it's a fucking hysterical joke, if it destroys the flow of the story. I will wipe it clean, and I will use it somewhere else.
Yeah, you can figure it out in the future anyway. It's always
there. Yeah. You can always find another place to put it, but never ever sacrifice the sort of timing for one joke.
Don't be married to your material.
Exactly. And always be willing to, again, my rule is 3.
Sorry, go ahead.
My rule is always 3. If I go to 3 separate places and it sucks at every one, I get rid of the joke. I rewrite it.
Or you know it needs to be, something needs to be done.
If I do a little, each time I'll do a little bit of a tweak just to try and get it to work, But if it's not getting anywhere after 3, it's gone.
I still keep it like
I keep it in
the
archive. Because you never know, you might find another way for it works in, and suddenly goes bang, there it's perfect.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
like, things that certain ones I like doing, like you figure out better ways to get into it.
Yeah,
and simple things like that can make the joke better sometimes.
But you got to be brutal. Anyway. You got to be so brutal in your own personal edit as a stand-up comedian. You got to be like, all right, that's funny. And I've even got to the point before with some sets where I'm like, that's funny, but it's not funny enough.
Yeah, you know, it can be better.
And then sometimes the best way to deal with that though is just restructuring.
Yeah, just
I've been like, okay, I'm going to take that section, I'm going to tell that first, and I'm going to take that section and put that. Oh, that allows me to do
Yeah.
this whole new section in the middle that's fucking brilliant, and I've never fucking thought of.
It's hard, isn't it, though, as well? Because sometimes you'll say, and you need to not overthink it as well.
Yeah,
But then at other times you say, but then you need to overthink it.
you really need
It's
to
really
think about
hard
this.
to
Yeah,
explain. That's
yeah.
why I understand now why when I was starting, I was like, I can't figure out anywhere, find any like way of writing.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about having your process
method
and that,
and
your
process,
method
yeah, yeah.
of writing,
Yeah.
but nobody says what it is
Yeah.
because I think people are still figuring it out constantly.
Yeah, everyone is still figuring it out.
Mm.
I mean, the best way for me to write stuff is still on a walk somewhere where there's no other people, so I can talk out loud, recording it,
Oh, yeah.
and then
That's a good idea.
I listen back to it and I go, well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not funny at all. Because when you listen to it back, it's
Yeah.
suddenly you're listening to it as if someone else was doing it. And you know what's
yeah.
funny when someone else is doing
That's
it.
good because I do say it out loud, and then when I say something out loud, like I made a joke like recently, and then
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna write that down."
Yeah.
I saw that going then. They want to be falling down constantly.
Yeah.
I'll put it back up in a sec.
Yeah, that's all right for now.
Then exposed to
I just
magic.
thought it was the world's fucking biggest spider.
I saw you jump there, man. To be fair.
So Jesus, fuck, you have a
Rangers coming for
tarantula,
me.
Carl. God damn. Oh right.
You
Anyway,
wouldn't believe how hard it is to get double-sided tape.
I know.
It's become like it's like gold.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not that expensive, but it's
Yeah.
hard to find.
Yeah.
And we got to anyway now to episode 3.
Mhm.
Episode 3, in my opinion. Well, actually, this is the thing. Episode 3 to me wasn't that interesting because it's stuff that I've seen so many damn times.
Right.
The Montreal Screwjob has been covered for
Yeah.
wrestling fans
Yeah.
to death.
Yeah.
If you're a
They
wrestling
went over
fan watching
Benoit
this,
as well afterwards, and it's like we've done podcasts.
Yeah, we've
on
done
both of
Benoit in
these.
general.
Yeah.
we haven't done a Montreal Screwjob.
No, I think we did. We haven't covered the Montreal Screwjob specifically.
Yeah.
But we have covered the bit of it, and I think we've sort of seen videos around it and stuff at one point.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever even brought it up on this because it's so
Oh,
done
definitely,
to death.
definitely, because I do know it. Yeah.
Go on, you explain it. 'Cause if it's new to you, so explain what the Montreal Screwjob is. for
Well, I
people
think
that
isn't
don't
that the
know.
one where he
What you
died?
remember?
Isn't that the one where he died, or is that?
No.
Oh no! The Montreal.
Bret
No,
Hart and
that's
Shawn
yeah,
Michaels.
no, that's a whole different thing. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah.
So this is just literally like
Yeah,
they
that was
wanted-
fucked.
it was so dumb. It didn't need to happen. They need
No.
to get the title off Bret because he was
He was going to go to
gonna go
WCW,
WCW probably.
and they wanted someone in the WWE to have the fucking
Yeah.
the belt
And he was
when he
doing
left.
business. He was
Yeah.
going to do it. They just weren't completely sure if he was going to.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to give it to Shawn either because him and Shawn had a legitimate
Like
hatred.
issue.
Like he had accused him on a promo of cheating on his wife, basically.
Yeah.
And that infuriated him. But we had so many things. And you got Bret Hart, who's a good, clean family man,
Yeah.
enough anyway. And then you got Shawn Michaels at that time, pill junkie, drinking all the time, out of control. Now he's a Christian, like proper, and he's like,
Was that a knock at the door?
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, carry on explaining the Montreal Screwjob for them, actually. Good explanation there.
Sorry.
Something not there.
Yeah, there we go. So basically, the whole Montreal Screwjob thing. So, yeah, McMahon's not sure if he's going to let or if he's going to lose the fight as demanded. So what they do is they wait for some random opportunity in the middle of the fight, not even after they'd done a proper bout, not even after they'd had a satisfying conclusion to this enormous fight. Suddenly McMahon's just call him now, ring the fucking bell. And lo and behold, they ring the bell, and the man suddenly just sort of stares up at the screen. He's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell just happened? He's just been completely screwed out of his last opportunity to sort of go out with some dignity. And instead, what they've done is they've just sort of ripped the fight from him, ripped the whole match from the public, from the fans, which again, this is the one time where it seems like that's not necessarily for the good of the business. That seems like one of the times where it seems like it might have been more for McMahon being like, fuck you.
Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think he was legitimately worried. Apparently,
I
was
can
gonna
understand
happen.
his worry, but the fact
because it has
is,
happened before.
he's
before
got
people.
ways of dealing with it. So if he goes to the point where it looks like he's going to lose, you know what I would do as McMahon? I'd say, right, who's our most wild card wrestler? You run in and you fuck up what's his face.
Funny enough, you say that.
Turn it into a
because-
tag team.
Well, I wouldn't know. You can't.
No,
progress.
you know what I mean. Though.
But yeah, they already had somebody else that could have took the title. Undertaker was
Yeah.
already there. He'd had stuff happening in. He was saying at the time, like when I'd watched him before about it, like you should have just did it with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
It'd been an easier way. But basically, this happened. You know, he did him.
But
in
the
his
Undertaker,
move,
I
rang the
understand.
bell.
I understand why they wouldn't necessarily want to give it to the Undertaker, because the Undertaker isn't so much a personality as he is like an inevitable tool. You know what I mean?
I mean, Undertaker's the biggest personality.
Oh, don't get me wrong,
He's
he's
adapted so much, and he was.
Yeah.
He'd been a champion multiple times at this point.
Oh right, I didn't
yeah, he'd
realize
already
that.
been the
Oh,
champion.
okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm pretty sure. I swear he'd been champion by this point.
Right.
Because he was the main event guy way before this.
Yeah.
Oh, careful, Kitty on the keyboard. Yeah, but did you say about the part what happened after though?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't get to that part. So
Backstage.
he's pissed him off so much by literally, as I was just saying,
That's yours.
like,
That's yours, isn't it?
yeah, I'm just leaving that there. And he screws him over, and not only he screws him over, but he screws the fans over out of a satisfying match.
Yeah. Although to be fair though, maybe that's my part at the time, but now they're like, "Yo, I was there for the Montreal screw job."
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
knew you were there for something special. during
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's a moment that goes down in wrestling history.
And do you know that Vince McMahon, though, another thing in his favour for that still though, he took the heat because Sean knew. Vince McMahon took the heat for it, went in, told Sean, I'm going to take the heat kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going to hit him, and he went back. Like Brett said, like when he came in, he's like, "I'm going to have a shower. If you're still there when I come back, I'm going to hit you." He had a shower. He came back, hit him.
Yeah.
And Vince stood there, didn't
do anything.
anything.
Try stuff.
He took the
Although apparently
thing.
that
Didn't try and sue him
one
or
person
anything.
did say, "Oh no, it wasn't like that. It was like a full blown wrestling match back there."
Nah, it was just he hit him.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. Nah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff like that, but definitely, he just hit him once. And there's even video of Vince walking off with a little limp, like
Yeah.
holding his face.
And he's got like a black eye at one point as well.
And that was the catalyst for him becoming Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. Which is the thing, because literally everyone was like, "How could you possibly do this to someone? That's so fucked up. You're such an evil cunt." And he's like, "Right, fine.
Yep.
If I am that, then I shall be."
I shall be that.
Yeah.
With like Mr. McMahon became like, and that boosted the company like to a whole new level.
A
as
whole
well.
new level, because that's the thing. That's what, like, they were sitting there searching for something to push them above WCW.
Yep.
For so long.
Yep.
Because WCW were just outspending them, and it's like, well, all right then, we'll use the biggest personality we've got.
Who wasn't before that? Like,
No.
he was in WCW first, Austin was, and they sacked him. They couldn't figure out a character for him.
Really?
And the most amazing part was as well, Stone Cold. In
Oh yeah,
one
no,
promo,
they did mention that. Yeah.
They mentioned the promo
Yeah.
where the guy was Jake the Snake was like saying, Jake
Yeah.
316.
John 316.
And then he said in one promo off the cuff came up with Austin 316 said, "I just whipped your ass." And then in the same promo, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said that was Stone Cold.
And Stone Cold himself said, like, and I heard McMahon off in the corner saying, end it, close it. And he's like, he needs a closer. He needs a closer.
Yeah.
So I go, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says so. And it's like,
It went crazy from there.
yeah.
He became the biggest merch seller ever. Like
Yeah.
Austin 316, that shirt was crazy. I think I even had one at one point. I swear I did.
Yeah.
I've had
Austin 316. I mean, like, that
I didn't
is-
even realize when I was younger it was a Bible thing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought it was catchy.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it meant.
That's the thing. It is catchy.
Mhm.
It is catchy.
And it led to later on the stoner guy that was in there being Matt Riddle 420. I'd have smoked your ass.
God.
But yeah, so from there, I mean, there was another screw job as well. People don't realize that wasn't the first screw job.
Oh.
There was an earlier screw job where this woman, Wendy Richter, had the title,
Yeah.
and I can't remember.
Oh,
why.
they did mention that. Yeah.
I can't remember why. But they they needed to get the title off her in a cage, and they had her facing this spider lady
Yeah.
who suddenly rolled her up in the match, like, and it was the fabulous Moolah, who's a fucking scandal all on her own. She's the woman who, like, trained up so many women wrestlers,
Yeah.
but also abused the hell out of them, took most of their money, made them, you know, like, trafficked them, like, sexually too.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's messed up to hell. She was in the WWE for ages in the later times. Do you remember the two old women that used to run around?
Yeah.
She was one of the old women.
Oh
She
shit.
was the less fun of the two. The one, not the one who gave birth to a hand.
Right.
It was Mae Young.
Yeah.
She was the one who used to get like power bombs through the tables. She was older. She was amazing. The other one, though, yeah, she was a monster,
Yeah.
basically.
Jesus.
Another one of these things, you know, we learnt more after she was like dying and dead.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a whole nother scandal, though.
It's amazing how often that happens. It's amazing how often someone being an evil person only comes out after they've died.
A lot of the time, yeah. I mean, do you know P. Diddy's on suicide watch?
Oh, what a surprise.
I will not be. I reckon totally he will not make it to court, 100%, because he's got all. Apparently, the FBI are trying to talk to him now and all that.
Yeah.
Like to get, because that's all he can do, and it is give out names and details.
Yeah,
and
all he can do
things.
to save himself is give all of the information he has on everyone.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the kinds of parties P. Diddy was throwing are the
Freak
kinds
offs.
of
Or Diddy After Dark, as
Yeah.
also known.
are the kinds of parties where, you know, weird politicians and things like that
Yeah.
attend.
And you might not even realize you've done a messed up thing, and he's caught you on tape a lot of time. Apparently,
Yeah.
like the stuff that's debatable. There's some people that choose
Yeah,
to
well,
go back. For
there's
example.
quite a lot of musicians who've used the sort of the defense in situations where it's like, but I'm always recording in my house because I always need every
Yeah.
room to be recording. So if I ever
Every
come up
room
with
needs
something-
video.
Yeah. So that if I ever come up with an idea, I can just play it and I know what the idea, and I don't have to, you know.
It brings into question so many things now, don't it? Like Justin Bieber living in with for so long.
Yeah,
That's
weird.
yeah. People are
Have
saying
you
they're
seen
not
some
sure.
of the videos where he's sort of talking to Bieber?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Some
"What are we
messed up, ain't
gonna
they?
do? Oh, we're gonna go out and we're gonna have some fun, I guess." And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get some honeys." And he's like, "What? Yeah." It's like, this is so awkward, dude.
yeah. And he's like 14 and stuff. He's like a
Yeah,
little
it's
kid.
like this is obviously not what he wants to do. He wants to sit and play Xbox, bro.
Yeah. It's like, well, at 14, you'll start thinking about girls, but you know,
Yeah.
the idea of talking to them will scare the hell out of it.
Yeah. He wants to go to prom with a girl. He doesn't want to.
yeah.
He doesn't want to go do a Montreal skydiver or whatever the hell it is you want to do.
Sounds fun though.
Yeah.
About the minors, obviously.
Yeah.
P. Diddy's done no man. Even his son apparently. Like, there's so many things as well. Other stuff that comes into question too, like the Tupac stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the big names that have talked about arranging all that.
Yeah.
And his wife that died. Do you know when his wife died before she was going to divorce him and like out a lot of stuff? Do you know that?
I didn't know that bit.
Completely healthy, like 28-year-old woman
And
apparently
just
died
suddenly dies.
from pneumonia. Which people say like that doesn't happen.
No.
You get that when pneumonia, when you're like in hospital and your immune system's depleted for whatever reason,
Yeah.
off something else, you know, that's when you get pneumonia.
Yeah.
Not just being healthy and just getting pneumonia.
Yeah.
But it was not looked into at all, kind of thing. I'm pretty sure there was something about the family tried to get rights to her body or something, and it was refused or something like that.
I don't. I mean, none of this surprises me with Diddy now.
Yeah, there's so much stuff like this.
I mean,
Yeah.
Diddy just doesn't seem like he did anything good.
No, did he?
No, he didn't.
There was no did he with Diddy.
No.
Right, it's annoying as well now because I can't enjoy one of my favourite films as much. Get into the Greek is a masterpiece.
I haven't watched that.
It's basically just him without
Yeah.
the. It's all the it's his.
It's literally what it is. Yeah.
That film is what made me first learn how crazy he was
Yeah.
because they play into it so much in the film.
Yeah.
And I learned from that he is legitimately crazy apparently.
Yeah.
He's a manic guy.
It's sometimes it's really funny when like you see a character or a celebrity playing a version of themselves, and it's like, oh well, there's no way they could be that crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, actually they're crazier. It's like
they're holding back.
there's only a couple that I can think of. There's him, there's Gary Busey, there's what's his face?
Christopher Walken.
Oh, Christopher Walken's a good one.
I'm not even sure what categories you're putting together, but as soon as you
Yeah.
said those people, I'm like Christopher Walken.
Christopher
feels like he should be in
Walken
that group.
100% is in that group.
Okay.
Um,
We're talking about like sketchy celebs or
sketchy celebs, 100% sketchy celebs.
probably involved in some kind of
Yeah,
murder.
there's so many.
Well, Christopher Walken was involved in a killing. Definitely.
There was another one as well I was going to think of after P. Diddy, and I couldn't remember who the fuck it was.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. That's one.
It's all like apparently though as well. People are saying that the person they will probably be trying to get into.
Oh, Charlie fucking Sheen.
He's a bit of a different one the way I need to.
Yeah, well,
he's just a partier.
He went beyond partier at a certain point.
Which point do we mean?
Yeah, well, when he started going, hey man, Tiger Blood winning.
That was full on party
that
mode.
Was full blown party mode, bro. Yeah.
That was full on party mode.
I mean, I was partying like you wouldn't believe, son. I was partying so hard that I started sounding like Beetlejuice.
That was amazing, man. That was an amazing time to be alive.
It was a great time. I remember someone was on YouTube talking about it, like fucking commented on it, and and they're like, "I love you, Charlie. You're so good." And I posted underneath it just to shit stir a little bit, just like he's a poet unknown of this time.
And we can make jokes, but it's true.
It was true. He's thinking in a whole other box. He's beyond now.
So we move on to episode 4 now. Then this just goes into the heat that the fans had coming out of the Montreal school job, and he decided to turn into the character.
Yeah.
Undertaker had mentioned that they changed the writing so that it wasn't geared toward a 12-year-old demo, but the 18 to 34. Yes, I know. I'll be in a sec. Okay. And then it was pretty much exactly what you're talking about with the that was it. There was a bit where Vince McMahon claimed the product was still family friendly. He said no one was killed. A clip aired of the buried alive headstone of Steve Austin and Undertaker.
No one was raped. There was someone being called a rapist.
Yeah, there was no rape. Footage aired of McMahon standing in the ring calling out someone while labeling a person a rapist.
Yeah.
Vince was shown saying there was no use of knives or guns.
Immediately,
footage of Brian Pillman pulling out a gun after the Austin character broke into his home.
Later on, they show an episode of part of someone literally fucking a corpse so hard.
That was Triple H.
Yeah.
During the Katie Vick, apparently, that storyline is like famous in wrestling fandom because of how terrible it was.
Yeah.
The whole storyline was that apparently the whole time Kane had been this guy that was in a mental asylum, burnt up, couldn't do anything. But then apparently, while he was 18, he accidentally killed his girl while having sex with her or something. No, he killed his girl and then had sex with her, apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
And that was Triple H reenacting it.
Jesus Christ.
Which is why later on when Triple H is asked, do you ever feel like you were made to go too far? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into a few of them in a moment because there are some crazy ones. And I think there's a few I got written down that they didn't include as well.
Yeah.
Because there are some, wow.
There's some strange stuff. I mean, it was one of those forms of entertainment that really does sort of go, well, we've gone this far. We kind of need to see how far we can go. You know? Can we push it a little bit further? Oh, it turns out we can. It's like a South Park kind of mentality. You know, we've already pushed the censors this far. How much further can we go? It's like almost, I mean, again, one of the things that you can compare it to is a soap opera. It is that kind of thing. It's like these larger than life characters, these larger than life scenarios, everything's being resolved in a ring. You know, it's inherently strange and wacky. But for some reason, watching this documentary, I've just been sat there going like, I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of enjoying this. I don't know if I'd enjoy watching a single bout, if you know what I mean, a single like show of the WWE. Because if I do that and I watch that, is that just going to be just, you know, same old, like slow paced stuff? Is it more entertaining watching like the documentary because it's all going through like the quick like storylines really fast? I don't know. Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if it's like more entertaining to watch the documentary because it's got all of the story beats really close together, or if it's more entertaining to watch a full wrestling show and watch the sort of series of a wrestling.
Oh, I can freaking tell you that straight away. It's a lot better to watch wrestling. What do you
mean?
mean? Yeah. Depends what wrestling we're talking about.
Yeah.
Some of the wrestling, no. AEW, you know what? AEW was been boring for a while, but the
Yeah.
stories at the moment are getting a bit better.
Okay.
The AW, if you appreciate just the athleticism and the full-on wrestling, and people seeming like they don't want to live past 28, then watch AW. If you like a lot more story in there too, watch WWE.
Right.
I would personally always say WWE over, but I would still say watch AW too. There's
Yeah.
a tribal thing in the fandom, you know.
To
Whereas, like,
say,
you have
oh,
to,
you
like-
can only watch one or the other.
Exactly. There's a huge
Yeah. No,
tribal
I never
thing.
agree with that shit.
Yeah, like them all, apart from Japanese wrestling.
Mm.
Shit. No, that's crazy. Japanese people.
Some Japanese wrestlers are fucking incredible, but quite a lot of
They-
the Japanese wrestling stuff is really weird.
They have steel necks. Like they look like they're legitimately trying to.
To break their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's fucked.
But at the
it's
same
beyond
time, though,
fucked.
they train their necks so much that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Although, have you ever seen? There's that footage of like, there was a guy who went to do the Olympics, and he was a Buddhist monk, right? And he was
Right.
one of the ones who like learn how to fight properly, and he got to the point where he could just take punches to
Right.
the head, and people would just not be able to put him down.
Who was that? Just
I can't remember his
Olympics,
name.
though.
I think he was in the Olympics at one. Well, no,
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe he was a professional fighter. I don't know.
Doesn't look slap fighting to me.
No, but literally, he'd be in a boxing ring and he'd just walk at someone while they
Oh.
were punching his head, just like,
Oh,
go on then, go on then,
Jesus.
go on then, go on then.
Like a real life.
And then
Rocky.
eventually just go wham, bam, and knock him out in one punch.
God.
And like, he tried to do this like for so long in his career that eventually something in his body must have just gone, I can't do this anymore. And in one fight, he tries to do it, and someone punches his head, and he just goes, just goes right the fuck.
Gotta
down.
happen eventually, man.
It's
There's
got to
only
happen
so many
eventually.
hits you
I mean,
can take.
that's what we talk about later on when we get into like the CTE stuff
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Benoit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, on the rest of this episode, there's not that much other than it talking about the what we would cover, the own heart stuff. This was
Yeah,
more. We
yeah.
covered a lot of that.
Yeah,
Like, there
yeah.
was a legitimate investigation that went into it.
Yeah.
They did
And legitimately
a,
so, a man
wrongful-
died. There had
wrongful
to
death
be, yeah.
lawsuit against
Yeah,
WWE, which
yeah.
they lost, and then I think WWE and Martha then did a lawsuit.
against the company.
Yeah. It might be separate though, actually. 'Cause
Oh,
she
no,
hates them.
yeah,
she's
'cause-
never let him use the
No,
name.
that's right. They
Owen Prince.
settled separately
yeah.
because they mentioned that she settled with WWE.
Yeah.
And WWE settled
Then-
with the company. So
Oh, I see.
it's probably like WWE got their settlement of like however much from the company.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we're going to give you this chunk because that's just going to make all of this a lot smoother for everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so they got the money back from that basically,
Yeah.
and also as well when they buy WCW, they don't mention in this at all that they just sued some I can't remember what it is. It led to this group called Right to Censor in WWE,
Yeah.
which was like people going around being like, you can't have your boobs out, you know, stop
Oh,
swearing.
yeah, that thing, yeah.
Even on Opie Anthony and like choked out Opie for some reason. I don't know why.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they sued some.
I don't think they ever
got,
actually
like,
showed the
3
tits
point-
on the actual live.
No,
stuff though.
I've seen nipples once on WWE.
Right.
But that's only because I paused it and frame by frame it.
Yeah.
By Miss Kitty. She was you know Jodie King Lawler.
Yeah.
She was his wife and nobody knew,
Right.
and she was going to get fired. And Jodie King Lawler went with her. So randomly one day, you just found out that Jodie King Lawler had left WWE, and then comes back after they break up like a year later. Fuck that bitch.
Bros before hose, am I right, guys?
Yeah, I saw her nips though.
Yeah.
She pulled them out,
Mm.
and then like Sergeant Slaughter didn't get there quick enough with the towel.
Oh dear.
VCR framing, man. You know the way you had to pause it with all the fuzz everywhere.
Can we
Skip-
talk briefly about the Sergeant Slaughter Iraq thing?
Oh yeah, they mentioned that.
Jesus
Yeah, I forgot about
fucking Christ. What
Yeah.
was that?
that. He says in that as well. It's ridiculous. He says in that you learn from your mistakes. You know, you don't really want to go into the basically the racial real world stuff. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Dude has done that over and
Over and over
since then.
Over and over again.
You know, in ways you wouldn't imagine. He
Yeah.
managed to make a Indian guy be racist to a Japanese guy. It's diversive. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
You know,
He hates equally,
yeah.
provided they're not white.
Or then you also had Chavo Guerrero at one point was Cohen White, a character,
Right.
and his whole thing was if it's not white, it's not right.
Oh Jesus, fuck.
Going around in a golf caddy,
Yeah.
playing golf,
Yeah.
and he's Hispanic, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
whatever.
The thing is, what I think I've found out as well is it looks interesting because there's like a generational thing that happens with wrestling.
Hmm.
Because it seems like it has to go in a kind of wave of like it goes like family friendly.
Yeah.
Then it starts to get really, really raucous.
Yep.
Then it has to get family friendly again. Then it gets really, really raucous. Then it has to get family friendly again. And I think I know what's happening. It's literally generational people coming into wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like
Changes
these
depending on
people
the
are,
audience.
exactly. So
Yeah.
the audience comes in when they're like 8 to 12. That's when they start, and that's when they start the family friendly thing. That's when they first started. And all those people who love wrestling keep loving wrestling all the way up into their 30s. And then this next wave comes along, because they always talk about the 16 to 32 or 18 to 32 demographic, which they were aiming for. And that's that demographic.
That's what we were talking about. But
and then eventually those kids come
younger.
in. That's it. The kids come back in again. So it's like literally, it's a wave of these people going like, I love wrestling, so my kids almost love wrestling.
Yeah.
I love wrestling, my kids love wrestling.
But I think people also forget though that as the years go on too, you can get away with more with those ratings.
You can.
Like, I mean, look at fucking Avengers 12 and it chops someone's head off straight away.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's an alien though, so it's fine.
Yeah. But once it goes to Netflix as well, though.
Yeah.
Then you can do what you want. The gloves are off.
Yeah.
You can literally do what you want.
We are in that sort of era again now where it's starting to get a bit more raucous.
And yeah, definitely.
You know?
AEW is definitely more that as well. If you want that, they got a lot more violence and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get like the women bra and panties anymore.
That's the demand, because like there's people our age who are still into it, but there's not that many people our age having kids in comparison to there were before. So this time,
I feel like there's more now.
I don't know. I
don't know. Though.
I think statistically it's less.
Actually, yeah, I think I have heard that, and it was less young people.
And I think that means that this wave of like being more aggressive might last longer than a traditional wave of being aggressive would. You know,
it's hard to base it though, because you know it's going to be based more on the American.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's going to be based on their generational gaps.
Because here, like, we do have, but I think they have that issue over there too. But that's why they talk about immigration being more of a thing, where they're bringing more people in because they need the younger people.
Yeah,
which is an argument a lot of time for immigration.
Yeah,
I shouldn't get into that though, because I was watching a lot about that over the last few days, and I have opinions.
Okay,
like I said, mentioned earlier, the one opinion is too far, like Poland.
Yeah,
that they are now legally shoot to kill if you try and cross their border illegally.
Yeah, that's...
you try and get into Poland illegally. Boom.
That's like Trump's wet dream.
It really is,
it
man.
Really is.
Apparently, they put the wall up super quick as well.
Yeah, and
then after that, somebody got killed by a spear through it.
Yeah,
fucking
savage,
crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, I thought Poland was like just up the road. Apparently,
not. No.
It's like fucking next to Syria or something.
Yeah, it's quite far away.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
But this gets to the point then in the documentary where it's like Stephanie said, I'll put a few things into this, so this might not be the official order, but I think it works better like this. Stephanie McMahon said she looks back and can't believe some of the stuff she did. She conceded that it was sometimes a little weird that her father was the person having to do some of the things, like, because he'd done a lot of crazy things with her, and a match with her, beat the cat out of her.
I remember them talking about like the one idea where it was like, someone was going to have impregnated her. And
that's what I was getting to.
He's like, no!
He didn't even want to mention it. He straight away. We'd heard this was the news. We'd heard about this before in the wrestling fandom.
Yeah.
But yeah, he legitimately wanted the storyline. We pitched it at least, where she would be pregnant and it would come out that he was the father.
Yeah.
Which
is fucked. That's so fucked.
That was one of the ones that she refused.
Yeah, I'm not fucking surprised.
Yeah.
Veto immediately. How is that family fucking friendly?
Yeah. Trish Stratus recalled getting a script that called for her to make out with another woman, which she refused. She wondered if it was a coincidence that she lost the title after she rejected this.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I remember that storyline. I remember that storyline, and it always kind of felt like she was always going to lose the title. So I don't know personally, but it might have helped. It definitely helped.
Yeah.
But he'd already done like the bark like a dog thing by this point.
Yeah.
I haven't got it included.
That's so fucking weird, that bark like a dog thing. And then
tripping her down,
naked.
getting her. Strange how attractive
Take
it is,
off
though.
your clothes.
Trish Stratus, man, she was like one of like my early crushes for obvious reasons. Her and Lita.
I love that one of the wrestlers just straight up like, there's a lot of people who watch this kind of stuff who they feel frustrated because they like girls but they can't get girls, and this is like a fantasy for them.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but that's what it is.
Triple H made a really good point.
Yeah.
About all this messed up stuff that happens on screen in WWE.
Yeah.
It's like Lewis said that when you look back at it now and see how crazy it was, and that it shouldn't have been done or was inappropriate, Lewis said it was. Then asked whether the guy who did it or the people who loved it were the worst. So were WWE worse or the people watching it?
Because the people who were watching it were enabling them to do it. Because if they weren't watching it, then they wouldn't have the views and they wouldn't have the sponsors, and it wouldn't be a thing.
The huge thing.
But obviously, like there is a large chunk of the population who really enjoyed what they were throwing out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Linda McMahon, the CEO that you mentioned.
Yeah.
She was all friendly. They were both all friendly with Trump, who was in WWE for a portion too.
Yeah.
She became in his cabinet in 2016 when he became president.
Ah, right, yeah.
During this time as well, Sabre that you mentioned earlier, Rena Lesnar, who eventually married Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
She sued him for sexual harassment and then come back.
Yeah.
And when asked about it, he said, "All I know is she came back to work." So that was it. Because she sued him for sexual harassment and all that.
Yeah.
She came back to work and then started a storyline where they were together.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
Oh, that was it as well. Shane McMahon, the son, though, told a story which I'd known as well about he wanted to buy the UFC.
Yeah.
And Vince was like, "Nah, I don't like the model."
Oh, did I tell you I've come up with an idea for a sketch based around this?
Go on.
It's an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it just goes like, "Yeah, no, it turns out, actually, bodybuilding is all fake, just like wrestling. It's all kayfabe. You think people have those kinds of bodies? No, it's bodysuits. None of it's real. You think that lifting weights actually makes you strong? Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. All the sports are actually just fake. It's all kayfabe. The Olympics is kayfabe."
Yeah, with Booker and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, that enhanced games is going to be great next year.
Oh yeah,
that'd be awesome. If anyone doesn't know, there's an Olympics basically where where PDAs are encouraged.
Go ahead.
There's no testing.
We are making you push yourself to the absolute limit that a human being can do.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Go ahead.
Yeah. No Mr. Beast included.
Yeah.
You don't want him pushed. He's done another video and just still ignoring everything.
Yeah.
I kind of respect it at this point.
Yeah, just act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I'm fine. Everything's cool. Keep watching my videos.
As far as let's see what else happened in this episode. I don't think there was still that much in this one either. Oh no, this is episode 6 now. Actually, this is the last one now. So Vince McMahon said it's like he has 2 or 3 computers in his head.
Yeah.
He said sometimes they work against him. He said one computer is talking to him now, and another one that was thinking something completely different. His voice is in his head, basically.
Yeah.
He said there's a third computer that he could tap into if he really wanted to. He said it's difficult for him to pay attention to things at times because of this. I get that. I had that. He said it bothered him because all he wanted to do was fit in, but he deals with it. He said he's different and fuck the world.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Yep.
He was asked what his other brain was thinking about right now, and he said having a lot of fun and something about sex.
Oh God!
They also talked about the battle of the billionaires with Donald Trump, where Donald Trump gave Vince like a
that
spear
was
outside.
yeah.
The best punches ever.
Yeah.
They were the most amazing punches ever.
So incredible.
Mm-hmm.
They were so good. They were the greatest punches you've ever seen. Okay. And I want you all to know that they were the greatest punches. They were so good. Weren't they good?
They were amazing.
Weren't they good? They were amazing.
Amazing. What?
They were so
What?
good.
What? Who's that? What?
And McMahon, he went down like a sack of potatoes. You seen a sack of potatoes? They go down real fast.
When I watch the wrestlers, I see a lot of hairy legs. They like to tickle them. I like to tickle them too.
I want everyone to know with wrestling we have a long and varied career of being on the top of the apex of what is good.
What are you saying, Biden? Get it out. Get it out, Biden. wish I could do impersonations more.
Yeah.
They're still fun to do.
Yeah.
I can't even hear. Like I was watching something, and my mum was like, "God, they got such a strong Brummy accent, ain't they?" I was like, "Have they?"
You can't tell.
I live here, and I can't tell. I genuinely can't. Like,
Yeah, the thing is,
accent. It has been really strong for me to hear it.
it's hard with Birmingham as well, because like Birmingham has got like 3 other accents around it that are just as fucking like. That was my alarm. Don't worry.
God.
Yeah. They've got like 3 other accents around nearby that are very similar but not quite Birmingham.
Yeah.
And if you do any of those when you're trying to do a Birmingham accent in Birmingham, people will just be like, "That's not Birmingham."
Just to get this last bit in, because I realised you haven't got loads lot of time left.
Yeah.
So the main thing coverage just after that, obviously everything came out with that lawsuit. Then it was on Wall Street Journal, was where it initially came out.
Yeah.
Wall Street Post, New York Post.
New York Post? Yeah,
Yeah,
New York Post.
New
Because it
York
was that
Post.
guy who was constantly fucking badgering.
Yeah.
I say badgering, legitimately investigating.
Yeah. Where's the thing? There you go. Coverage was shown of the story that Wall Street Journal, story that Vince had paid over 12 million in hush money to 4 women over a 16-year period.
Yeah.
One of the settlements was for 7.5 million to a former wrestler who alleged that Vince coerced her into oral sex. We don't know who that is.
Mm.
I'm sure there could be some, little looks to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Retirement was announced on July 22nd, 2022. Obviously, he would come back in the end, though, even though there was too many people on the board that voted him out. He naturally just got rid of those people because he still had the majority share at this point. Putting people that would vote him back came back into power.
Yeah.
Managed to sell it to TKO, where WWE, formed TKO with UFC. WWE had 49% of the share, and Endeavor/UFC had 51% of the share. So one of the first things they did was kick
McMahon out. He's like, "I'm gonna save myself by merging with this company." Oh, this company kicked me out. Fuck.
I mean, I respect him getting back in, but I don't know why. Because it seems like they still did what they were doing anyway. It's like he just wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And then he came back looking like some Italian mob boss.
Well, it's like they say at one point. There's a guy who goes, Vince McMahon doesn't own the wrestling business. The wrestling business owns Vince McMahon.
I like that. That's a good.
And it feels 100% true, and you can feel it throughout the entire thing. This man, for every one of his fucking flaws, and he's got a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
He lives, breathes, sleeps, eats fucking wrestling.
Fucking and wrestling, you're right.
Fucking and wrestling, yeah. And that's literally his life, is fucking and wrestling. Those are the 2 most important things in Vince McMahon's life.
Would you like to know some of the details from the claims that made in the Grant lawsuit?
Go for it.
With Vince,
Yeah.
Including that Vince defecated on her during a threesome.
Jesus.
Both men took turns restraining her. Didn't say what other guy, but they talked about John Laurinaitis, who's somebody else in the company. Oh, it's like this. I'm Johnny Ace. People power. People power to the people.
Okay.
Literally how he sounds.
Jesus.
Right, that's one accent
That's
I can
a
do.
proper good.
People power.
I feel like I know the character, even though I don't know the person. Yeah.
Vince defecated during the threesome. Both men took turns restraining her, and Vince forcibly used sex toys on her.
Jesus.
Screenshots of Vince's text messages exchanges with Grant were shown. It was noted that Grant claims that McMahon shared explicit photos of her with Brock Lesnar. Once again, let's just clarify, Brock Lesnar was like a golden child of Vince McMahon, even though he is married to the woman that sued him for sexual harassment. Yeah,
but again, it's Vince McMahon's thing of whatever's good for the business is what I'll do. It doesn't matter if it's good for me or not.
There was another wrestler though, just a bit darker. This one, Ashley Mazzaro. I used to think she was so hot. The story is basically that she was raped by a doctor during a tribute to the troops event, which is going over to the army and stuff.
Yeah.
So somebody pretending to be an army doctor raped her.
Oh fuck.
And Vince McMahon basically, she says that Vince was like, we can't do anything. We've got a good relationship with the army, etc.
Yeah.
Squash it. She in the end went on to kill herself.
Fuck, yeah, no.
Yeah. there was even a bit where
I get a bit of a feeling with Vince though as well that he gets this feeling of like, well, I've gone through nastier shit than this, so why don't these people just pull their shit together and get on with it?
that's very much the opinion he has.
Yeah.
He said, like earlier when he said that, he's like, "Fuck life, just go on with it, go with it or whatever."
It literally, he was talking at one point like, you know, well, all this horrible stuff happened to me, but that's in the past. You know, you don't think about that because that's, you know, it's negative. Why sit there thinking about something you can't fix? Just go on, think about something good, positive, go for it.
Well, he very rarely talks about himself. So Vince was shown being asked about his legacy in 2021.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't have one. He said everyone has a certain feeling about who they think he is, but they don't know him. He said a lot of people have confused who his character on television was with who he is.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? There's like so many different people were like, oh yeah, no, Vince is exactly like Vince McMahon. And then there were other people who were like, no, Vince is completely different to Vince McMahon. And then there were people who were like, well, it's sort of in between, you know, it's like it's Vince McMahon but amplified. And it's like,
well, do you want to hear his actual when he actually another time when he did describe himself this time?
Go for it.
He said it would be difficult to describe himself, but then he said maybe egomaniac, physical culturist, someone who needs to be challenged every day, sexually active, psychologically challenged, sort of paradox of paradoxes.
Jesus.
And
Okay.
Jesus, probably.
Yeah.
He said sometimes performers start believing in their own character and lose all sense of who they really are. He's wondering which is a character and which is him. He said maybe it's a blend. He said one is exaggerated a little bit, but he's not sure which one. He wished they could have included the PR statement he released on social ahead of his documentary coming out.
Right.
Graphics noted that Vince is under federal criminal investigation related to the misconduct and trafficking. The lawsuit is paused until the federal investigation is conducted.
Yeah.
The end of.
There you go.
There is so much shit in WWE that has happened.
Yeah.
And it just continues. Like, like I said, there's still more that wasn't included in there.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff we've already said, but there's more that, like, 6 hours was not enough time to go through it all.
No.
Nowhere near enough time. I didn't even mention the murder of the Jimmy Snuka murder, did I?
No.
Jimmy Snuka, another top guy in WWE. During the time he was a top guy, his girlfriend or wife, I can't remember, died in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And
basically
he moved her and did all this stuff.
Yeah, no, but loads of people were like, "Oh yeah, it was I'd suspect that Vince had something to do with him being let out."
Because the story is, you know, Jimmy Snuka was in there in the police. Vince went in with a briefcase.
Yeah.
Talked to him for a bit. Came back out without the briefcase. Jimmy Snuka.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty easy to put the dots together there.
Yeah.
Because he was at the time he was his top star as well.
Yeah.
And he has now actually been like charged with it, but he was found unable to stand trial. Might not have been for that, might have been for a different one.
Right.
I'm not actually sure. I don't remind myself actually why he was actually.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
He was the guy who famously like jumped off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
And his daughter just got released. What was the entertainment? I've been sued by Jim Snuka and dozens of retired male and female wrestlers over no logical injuries they claimed but suffered. I never realised he was involved in that. Yeah, there was a whole thing. Oh, we didn't mention that. What did the Chris Nowinski and you see that guy then who used to be a wrestler got a concussion and started doing a lot of work on
because he was actually from Harvard.
Yeah. That was his whole gimmick as well.
Yeah.
And like he spoke to the family of Chris Benoit and we tried to gloss over that because we already covered it.
Yeah.
They went back to check his brain out, and he said it was
just massive signs of CTE.
Oh, he said it was the worst case of CTE they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense. Yeah. But then, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was like, I don't believe. I'm not. I
don't assume. Yeah, I don't believe in that. It's like, well, you should.
He really should. He's been in there a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's harder to protect people that don't have long hair in wrestling.
Yeah.
If you have long hair, it's easier when you drop them on the head. There's more gap because the hair.
Yeah.
Well, it looks better. You don't have to drop them as knee up because the hair covers it.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're bald, if you don't drop them and if they don't hit, you just see it.
Yeah.
Which is why, like probably part of the reason why Owen Hart broke Stone Cold's neck.
Yeah,
botched move ever, even though he asked him not to do it. I still don't understand that.
No.
And I completely understand why Stone Cold is angry. He probably doesn't realise that part of anger comes from CTE.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Something that'll make you sad when you learn that Stone Cold doesn't actually drink beer. He's a wine man. I know. I know. Break your world, doesn't it? But that was what my world's been for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon. I'm not going to lie, though. As I said earlier, when I watched the documentary, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't learn anything other than a Dusty Rhodes thing.
I learned so much. I learned so much. It was a fucking full-blown like injection of wrestling, and I'm sort of ready now to watch some wrestling when it turns up on Netflix.
That's interesting.
You know?
I was wondering if it was going to have that effect, like
if
we go in there.
Yeah.
Because they did make the point that it's like not that anymore.
Seeing as we've talked so long about this and we've got 20 minutes left, I want to talk about something else that's had a sudden effect.
I was going to suggest
a
topic.
Yeah, so there's a game that came out recently called Space Marine 2.
Okay.
And it's a Warhammer 40k game.
I assumed.
And
the only name I know from them is Space Marine.
It has gone fucking gangbusters.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's gone really, really well. Now, Space Marine 2 is a legit fucking good game.
Is that the one that was already out? Or
no, this is the new one. Okay. So Space Marine 1 was a good game. That's on like Xbox 360 era.
Okay. And
we've waited about 15 years, almost 15 years for the fucking sequel.
Wow.
And the sequel's finally out, and it is fucking fantastic.
Oh, okay. Where do you get a good sequel that lives up to the hype?
Anyway? Yeah. In fact, it surpasses the original in a lot of ways.
Just where that is.
Yeah. It's very, very good, and there's loads of people playing it online. And I've got it on Xbox. I've started playing it a little bit. I've not got all the way through the campaign yet, let alone anything else.
I guess it's not a Game Pass one.
No, it's not a Game Pass one. Not yet, anyway. It might do eventually, but that will come down later on down the line. But yeah, it's just a legitimately fun game. It's legitimately.
Is it like what kind of game?
It's like an action shooter game,
like third person.
So World War Z.
No, the video played that.
Right,
I haven't actually played that.
Right, so it's like Left 4 Dead, that one.
Okay,
but with like zombies that sort of are in huge hordes.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I loved about that film. World War Z. I love the hordes in it.
And that's the thing; they literally like scale the buildings in the same way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, they've got the same thing happening in this with the Tyranids, which are the enemies that you're fighting in this, which are like almost like the alien from Aliens, but like there's so many different versions of them, and they just land on a planet, eat all of the biomass, and leave.
Oh, okay.
Like they're terrifying fucking creatures, but they land on the planet, and you're fighting them off, and there's literally. Like you're watching in the background these hordes of enemies moving down, and you're like, "Oh, is that like a trick of the thing?" Oh no, that's a real model. That's an actual enemy that's coming towards me. Holy shit! Yeah. And it's literally like huge waves of these Tyranids.
I've had that before in a game when you see something in the distance, and naturally you seem like, "Oh, that's just in the distance."
Yeah.
And then it just starts getting closer and closer. Oh shit!
Oh shit! And like it's one of the first games that's like legitimately like that looks like it's a next gen game.
Yeah.
Like that deserves to be on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X only, because that's the only thing that can play it apart from a PC.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I think that with a lot of games. I know what you're saying.
It looks so fucking good.
Could even be like PS Pro, like PS5 Pro, whatever. The next level.
Yeah. It's so fucking good. It looks brilliant. The combat's difficult, really tough, but it's good.
It does seem like that's becoming more like popular now, that people want a challenging game.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing. I'm going to load this up. What you were on about? What I was playing Control lately.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, you played that? Yeah.
I like Control. I haven't played all of it. I only played a bit of it, but
I am most of the way through now. To be fair, it's a long game. There's a lot of bits to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back to the thingy though and put it on the right thing so everyone can see it. I believe that's it. There we are.
Nice.
Okay. There we go. What was the game again?
Space Marine 2.
Nice and easy as well. That, like I said, that is the one I do recognise. And this game you're on about, I'm not going to lie, it sounds kind of good.
It is good.
I'm liking the sound of
good.
it. And it's the actual game.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah.
So it's better to put on YouTube, actually, wouldn't it?
No, go to videos from there, and that'll give you a YouTube link.
Yeah, true. I don't need to see a preview. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Gaming over something. Overview.
Yeah.
Marine 2, the newest installment in the Warhammer 40,000
See, this is
franchise.
fucking ridiculously good.
Brought to you by Saber
This was the
Interactive
trailer that
and
came out
Focus
first of all,
Entertainment.
and
I'm
that's
Oliver
in-game
Hollislake,
graphics.
creative
Look
director
at
on the
that.
project.
Wow,
Today
that's
I'm going
amazing,
to
actually.
take you on a tour of the game's story, game modes,
Full screen.
progression,
Oh no.
and a whole lot more.
It's
Giving you
a
taste of what's to
remarkably
come
good
when the game
game.
releases on
Is
September
it like
9th.
you got some shooting and you got
Yeah, hack and slash as well.
Space Marine
I
2
love
is a
the
third
combination, just like
action
in,
shooter
yeah,
set
all
in
the
the
different
grim,
combinations
dark
of things, you
universe
know,
of
figure
Warhammer
style.
40,000.
Yeah,
Get
I
out
love
and
that
experience
find
this
as well.
story
I'm
either
so much more
solo
a fan of
or
that.
with
I
up
like
to
seeing
3
the
players in
cinematic.
co-op.
Yeah, and it just feels more cinematic of the
Yeah.
film and that, you know. In first person, it's just a loose sense of loose person.
Space Marine 2's story
Yeah.
begins a century after the events of the first game.
Huh?
Captain Demetrian Titus is a genetically enhanced super soldier and hero of the Ultramarines.
will eradicate your kind from the
he gets
galaxy.
into running. Don't worry about that.
Titus
He
has
does a lot of
returned to the
running.
Ultramarines,
Totally looks like
where he is demoted to
Yeah.
lieutenant
you know.
Yeah,
I know the day
No
always in
guilt
that
and
game.
forced to prove his loyalty in the heat of battle.
Good though, you
On
know,
a distant
for
world,
still that
he must
power,
face one of humanity's most fearsome adversaries,
so nasty.
the
Look
Tyranids.
at that fucking thing.
As you
Oh,
take
wow.
control of Titus
So you
and his
mean
fellow
about
battle
being like
brothers,
a,
Chiron and Gadriel,
Xenomorph.
Yeah.
you'll be thrown into the thick of a
seen that
war
film.
of galactic
Yeah,
warships.
I haven't seen Romulus yet.
Thanks to our unique swarm technology,
Yeah, look at
allowing
that.
us to render hundreds of
actual
real enemies on
enemies.
screen
Oh, wow.
at the same
Oh,
time.
Look at that.
That's beautiful.
You'll face seemingly endless waves of crawling, running,
love
and
that
swooping
shit, though.
enemies as
Just
far as
constant
the
hack
eye
and
can
slash.
see.
Yeah.
we
You
need to
must
go
repel the
Just go from
Tyranid
one place to
invasion
another with a
and
flight.
rid the system of the Xenos threat, battling in the
Oh, it's
claustrophobic
like
jungles of
double,
Kadaku, the
control
majestic
is fucking-
planet-spanning
There's no flash on
metropolis
this.
of books,
I leave
of
campaign.
epic
Oh, yeah.
locations.
That's interesting. I like that.
I like that. I like a campaign.
After each successful
I like
mission,
campaign. I don't
you'll
mind whether it's
return
like
to the
fully
battle
like that or
barge,
open world. I'm
a
happy
space
with it.
Yeah,
fortress
I didn't
serving
know
as the
if it's done
Ultramarines'
well.
Yeah,
orbital
yeah.
headquarters.
But I like the control.
Here you
way of
can
doing
gather
it as well.
crucial
Yeah,
intel
control.
by interacting with
Feels
onboard
so powerful.
personnel.
Yeah.
Everything up.
Lifting
Review
chunks
your
out
next
the wall
targets
and throwing it at them.
and
I've
tailor
only
your
got one
loadout
upgrade
to
left
your
on that
upcoming
phone
mission.
thing, man, until it's like full.
Yeah.
How's it?
Whether you prefer close combat or ranged warfare,
Oh, the fucking
the
heavy
Ultramarines'
bolter.
wide range of equipment offers you an array
Look
of
at that thing.
devastating weapons and unique special
I'm a big fan
abilities.
of flamethrower games, you know.
Yeah.
A balanced approach is
There's a really good,
certainly
yeah.
wise,
I
since performing
agree.
a
There's a
brutal
really good
melee
version of
finisher
this, and
replenishes
like, I
your
like
armor
playing with the
and keeps
flamethrower
you
and
in the
Dark
fight
Tides
for
as well.
longer.
But, Dark Tides, a whole different story.
Shred the enemies with the iconic
Oh,
chain, liquefy
that's-
them, or crush them with
kind of where
the mighty thunder hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much just like a rip off of it. Does
How
I said
vanquish
it was,
invaders
sort of
up
vibes
to you.
beforehand.
I mention
Your
this was around
duty
before?
is not
Yeah.
yet done.
Yeah.
Beyond the story campaign,
I mean, not
you'll
the game.
find
The thing
operations
is, like
mode.
the original game,
Here,
everyone
the
said,
focus
"Oh,
is
it's a
on
game about
cooperation
Gears of
and
War."
replayability.
Because you don't get into cover ever.
Players want
Oh.
6
point
classes
isn't-
with
you
unique
never get
skills
into
and
cover
abilities.
as a space marine. You are the
Then
cover.
develop
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're a walking
customize them to
fucking
make
tank.
them your own. Whether you prefer the
You gotta do it
sniper's
how-
stealth cloak
Yeah.
and long-range
They are now.
capabilities, the
Wasn't before.
Vanguard's grapnel launcher,
Yeah, this is like
or the
the
Bulwark's chapter
yeah.
banner and storm shield
And it's a whole
combination,
different campaign
your
to
Space
co-op
Marine
as well.
specialty, along with
6
those of your
different
squad
missions that are
mates, will
completely
be
unrelated
decisive
to
on the
main
battlefield.
campaign mission.
Yeah, yeah. I'll never.
Well,
The
not-
more missions you
I don't
play,
care
the
about
more
that.
you'll unlock
Oh, no, mate,
cosmetics for your Space Marine.
Really good.
Yeah, it works
Because
better.
it's
You'll also earn XP and armory data
Like
that you
your-
can
your
spend in the
fighting
battle barge's
Tyranid.
armory
Yeah, yeah.
to unlock new
That's
class
better.
perks
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
improve
there is
your
PvP
armament's
as well,
performance.
but only if you
Yeah.
want to play it.
Yeah, yeah. Like thinking.
Eternal
PvP
war
one.
demands
One
eternal
now.
discipline.
One with-
If you're into more competitive challenges, well then you're in for a treat. Enter the fray in our eternal war mode, where you'll be
Get
able
really
to
angry
pit
when you play this.
yourselves against
yeah.
other players.
Played two.
6 Space Marines clash against
I'll
6
go
of
with
their
that.
I always get
sworn
angry when I
chaos
play those games.
adversaries in arenas
Shouldn't.
inspired by the game's rich settings.
It's entertaining for somebody when playing with you.
Choose your
Yeah.
preferred rule set,
With the
be it the
street, like-
intense Annihilation Deathmatch,
Sometimes it's too much for me.
strategic Seize
Like
Ground,
mentally, like,
or
this
the
is too stressful.
exhilarating Capture and Control. Then engage in adrenaline-pumping matches that will test your skills against players from across the world.
Yeah.
Each skirmish offers you the chance to earn more XP and add more weapons to your arsenal as you prove your valor on the battlefield.
Look at that shit, man.
That's all just a taste of what is to come. We can't wait for you to experience the passion and care that our teams have poured into this game.
I'm glad the campaign.
We've got more surprises in
Yeah.
store for you, to be revealed very soon.
Yeah, that looks awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
That looks so cool. I bet it's expensive.
I will
It's not that expensive nowadays, are they?
No, it's not.
That's not bad.
And this is the thing, like Saber Interactive got two
Your
main
standard,
games.
gold or
Bought
ultra
up a
editions
license. I didn't even know
defend
they bought
humanity
up a
on
license.
September 9th.
I hadn't even outlined the license, and then suddenly they're like, about a year or so ago, they released the fucking trailer for Space Marine 2, and it's like, oh my fucking god, you're doing this? Holy fucking shit! I love this shit.
That's awesome.
Because I've always been a long fucking like massive supporter of the original. I think everyone should play that game. I think it's one of the perfect length games. It's a perfect. You don't get bored of the campaign.
It
It gives you just
was
enough.
critical talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I assume he had a positive
He
review on
loved it. He
Yeah.
loved it. And
I don't
he's,
see how you couldn't.
he's
put
like,
it
after he's like, this game is so good, and I've started buying little figurines.
oh god,
yeah,
man! If he puts it over though, you know that's good.
yeah, yeah.
It's like that kind of thing as well. When you're like doing a thing and you're watching like an advert like that, I don't see why people like the game people would complain about somebody
Yeah.
watching an advert like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
If you're just advertising it,
Yeah, yeah,
it makes no sense.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember when my goddamn here on day the because I always put stuff away, you know, like to remind me of things.
Yeah.
To bring up.
Hey you, and well,
Shut up.
my name is Mike, and
Yeah.
in this old video, when a couple of soldiers
Stop
were on
talking,
leave,
man.
they were at
Shut up.
Right, God damn it, Mike.
That chapter though, I will recommend if you like a good true crime channel. That chapter
Yeah.
is probably the best one in my opinion on YouTube.
Yeah.
Put together very well. Even on this one, I don't know why, it's titled 3 Disappearances That Led to Hardline Discoveries.
Oh, brilliant.
There's 4.
Lovely. Okay.
They're the ones I
yeah.
was telling you about earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
A
Yeah.
future
yeah,
episode.
yeah,
So we might cover it in the future. Or might slightly cover it because we already talked about it so much earlier.
yeah.
We'll just be telling the people.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think there was any actual other stuff. Stargate will be back. Oh yeah, I want to read up on that. I still do not understand what is going on with Nicardo, Advocado, whatever his name is.
Oh, did you not get the whole thing that happened there then?
I have no idea what happened.
Right. So basically, he was good for mukbangs, right? I'll do a quick one. So the mukbang.
I know what he did. Yeah.
I
Were,
have good news
Yeah.
to share with you today.
the
and
thing is,
that's-
weird. It's so much content that he could just put out videos for about a year and a half
Yeah.
of
yeah.
him still being absolutely fat as fuck, while at the same time he went on a massive exercise and diet regime.
Which means he got a Zempic.
No, which means he lost all of the
He
weight.
got a Zempic.
Yeah. Well, he had the yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, the timelines match way too
Yeah.
conveniently.
yeah.
For a rich dude who suddenly lost a load of weight easily. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he had all the skin surgery and stuff as well.
yeah, of course.
he's gone through it all. But like
Well,
he
a Zempic does it for you.
then like
He can't do
literally-
mukbang anymore.
Literally a week after his last fat video airs, he goes online with a video of him completely thin as fuck, looking like racially thin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, this guy is now just like fuck, like
Bugger.
throw everyone into a loop.
But didn't he like bring this out after? Because he's like, I lied, I'm still fat and that.
I don't know.
I think he tried to make out after. He's like, bring out this whole thing. Didn't he talking like a supervillain?
I think this might well be just him doing another video like while he was fat so that he could put it out after.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. He's just trying to make out this
Yeah.
whole thing. No, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to him talk about it, it's so strange the way he thinks he's a supervillain.
Yeah.
Wait, it just any part of it, like when you listen to it. Just,
These
yeah.
loyal consumers.
Yeah.
So I am the villain.
He
Because I
thinks he's the
beat myself
fucking
up.
Joker.
He's so weird, man.
Oh, he
Yeah,
thinks he's
Zempic
the
has fucked up
Joker.
his brain, I tell you.
Yeah,
He needs to give it up.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my dilly.
Oh, my dilly dally.
We got a few other things that we need to bring up next time as well.
There's so much stuff that's been going on in the world, so we do have more pods to do.
Hezbollah, the leader's been blown.
Yeah, blown away.
And I'm sure that was
Very
definitely
important you had that
created-
second word.
Yeah. And I'm sure that is now going to completely sort out everything in the middle.
Oh, everything's fine.
Everything is
Everything's
fine
fixed.
now.
It's good.
All good.
Don't worry about it, Carl.
I don't think there's going to be any comeback,
No.
anything.
Lebanon haven't been doing anything
Stability
like launching
will reign.
fucking rockets into anywhere. It's fine.
No,
Don't
they haven't
worry about it.
continued at all.
It's fine.
The news will tell you
Yeah.
that Benjamin Israeli. No.
Benjamin Israeli.
No, that's not his name. Not
Benjamin-
Netanyahu.
Benjamin Disraeli Gears.
fucking Yahoo, that guy.
yeah.
Netanyahu.com.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
that's squishy logic for this
I
week.
think
So I
it
hope
is.
you enjoyed the little deep dive into the side information of wrestling.
Wrestling is always great,
Wrestling's always interesting.
apart
and,
from when you look at the man who runs it.
exactly.
But he doesn't run it now.
Even that's interesting.
Oh, it's very,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes the backstage stuff is more interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, until then, until next time, I should say that's never going to work. Until next time, we have been Squishy Logic. I've been Nathan Parish, the man of many voices. Some of them are not all in his head.
But that piece of
But that
soundproof stuff is now.
is trying to be. This has been KD.
I love you all. Make sure to come to whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Check out DeadManDancin, but Post Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse and all the good shit on
That's
there.
true. Check out this place for all of the other podcasts that Carl does because he's got a
Yep.
fair chunk on.
And,
And,
1,000 trades on the 5th of October, wherever that is. Come down, I don't know. Come down and see me as Grandpa from Only Fools and Horses in a show that I don't know what it is. I'll find out on the
A
day.
thing is happening.
It's
though.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
Come watch it.
Yeah. So anyway, until next time, that's been Squishy Logic. Stay squishy.
And keep that shit logical, babies.
Nice.